I'm Gabriel Ritchie,
I'm Jeremiah McConan.
and welcome
And
to the
um,
Richie and Meko connection. Jay, we're not alone today. We were alone last week for the first time in a while, but we have a very special guest today. Returning to the pod, first time on the Richie and Meko connection, but not first time on Connection Media. Numdi, how we doing?
doing well, man. Doing well. Back at it, man. Maybe I'm doing something right if I'm coming back on
Yeah,
this.
man. Long overdue.
Yes,
Long
sir.
fun,
overdue.
fun to talk sports with you. So definitely
Appreciate
happy to
that.
get back on.
Numdi was on uh way back OG Hoop Chat. We did top 10 point
Yeah,
guards of all time, top 10
I'm
point
Mm,
trying to
guards of the
remember.
No, I
2000s.
think I think it's
Was
big
it
men.
small or
Big
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 men.
men, I
men?
think.
Can't
Yeah, it's
get
big
enough of
men.
them.
Can't get enough of
Yeah.
them.
Uh
Uh,
yeah, I think so. I think you were right. And oh no, I think it was small forwards.
Low key, I'm
no,
thinking small
no,
forward. 'Cause I
no,
remember
I'll look it
Kawhi,
up.
no,
Kawhi and
no. I
Slander was a
remember
team I
Giannis.
remember.
I remember Giannis, AD, and Jokic on someone's list. So it had to be big man. Because I put
Mm,
Ben Wallace too. I remember this.
It
Yeah, it
was
was
big
big
men. You're right,
man.
Namdi. I'm looking at
Yeah.
it right now. The
Yes,
top 10
sir.
big men of the 20. Yup.
Yes,
I
it
don't
was
remember
big
what my
man.
list was for that,
Yeah, that was a while, man. A while
but
back.
that was almost a year ago, actually. A year ago this week.
Yo,
yep.
word. They brought me back, man.
Crazy.
I made the
Wow.
cut.
Yeah. March
I
27th, 2022.
was,
Feels like it was even longer ago, honestly.
no, I'm being so yeah, that's a
It
fact.
does.
But I'm
Yeah,
happy.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Shout out to y'all. Shout
a
out to
lot of
y'all.
slandering on that episode, Numdy. I remember getting called out for a lot of slandering.
That's all good, bro. It's all love. It's all love. We all love sports here. Everyone's gonna have a different opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. That was go check that out. Those episodes are obviously evergreen.
Yeah.
Uh I wonder. I should. We should. I should go back and listen to some of our older stuff to see if some opinions still stand.
Mm,
That'd be interesting. But as far
yeah.
as today, of course, March Madness is going on. We don't watch much college throughout the year. Numdy, I don't know about Numdy. Do you watch any college basketball?
I feel like as I've become more of an adult, it's become less and less over the years. But when it really comes down to it, I try to watch a little bit. But obviously, when the tourney happens, I'm
Yeah.
dialed in,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, I feel that. I agree with Namdi there, Gabe. I think when I was younger, I used to be
Mm,
so much more locked into college, like
definitely.
regular season games too.
yeah, you know the
Like I
players
remember
that are
when,
coming into the draft and whatnot. Now I
yeah,
really have to watch like these college experts saying, "Oh, he's coming number one, he's coming number two." But so
yeah.
college is still good. There's still a lot of great players that are coming into the league. So
Yeah.
I remember Jimmer Fredette when he sort of
ooh,
came onto the scene. That's when I first started
Well,
following
I
college
remember
basketball.
being
I
young,
think.
right? And you're like, "Holy shit,
Yeah,
this Jimmer guy's dropping 40 in the tournament. He must go
yeah. I
number
thought.
one, right? He's gonna
Yeah,
go.
I thought he
He's
was
gonna
gonna
be
be
the
the
best player
goat.
in the
yeah.
NBA."
Yeah, facts. That's exactly
I
what
did
that was
not
my thought
Yep,
understand.
process, Gabe.
yep.
Yeah, bro. That's literally what I
I didn't
thought. I'm like,
understand he was
this
28 years old.
Thought he
yeah,
was Steph Curry, man, at the
Yeah.
time, man.
Yeah.
couldn't break the Sacramento Kings rotation in
Crazy, man.
2013 when they had nobody.
I'm totally
Had it,
with you guys though. Back in the day, definitely watched a lot more. And I think that has to do with guys used to stay a little longer back then.
yep,
Now they don't even have to go to college. They could just go straight to the
Yeah.
G League or whatever.
yep.
Um,
And the
the game
best guys were in college too.
the best guys. I
Wow.
mean, my college memory as a child is coming home from a CYO game. I remember vividly. We beat Charlestown by one back when I played for Sacred Heart. This was like
Shout
sixth
out.
grade. Went home and it was the undefeated Kentucky Wildcats
Uh, uh,
in Indiana,
uh,
in Indiana, and that was the only time they lost that year. What
Which team was that?
Christian
Anthony Davis
Watford,
team?
yep. Christian Watford for
Oh,
three at the buzzer. Fans stormed the court. Tom Crean. I
damn.
think I sent you a picture the other day of Tom Crean, the coach of Indiana's face at the time when they hit the buzzer. Just the scowl he had, like he couldn't believe it, and that was such a
Crazy.
moment. And that was in the regular season, and you wouldn't catch me. You will
See?
never catch me like tuning into a college game like excited like that, especially in the regular season.
Yeah.
But yeah, the tournament's going on, and it doesn't matter how bad the quality of play is or how little stars there are. Single
still gonna,
elimination is always going to be entertaining.
yep.
And
But
what have
Yeah.
you
yep.
guys thought so far of the tournament?
Go ahead,
For
Namdi.
myself, honestly, one thing to highlight, Princeton, it's not really an upset. I know they're a higher seed, but every year the Ivy League really shows why they're like that in the league. They're just intellectually they have it over most college basketball teams because they
They're
get
just
taught.
smarter.
They're just
Yeah.
smarter, man. They know they lack physical ability, so they're gonna be like, oh, we got to run our X and O's, and they perform it much better. So Princeton just won yesterday too, so now they're in the Sweet 16. It's not a joke. I really think they can make it
Yeah.
to the Final Four if they get matched up with the right team. Honestly, so
Wow.
that's my
Oof.
highlight of college basketball right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You said like when you brought up how like the quality of play is not as good, Gabe, especially during March Madness. Like it gets worse, but it almost feels like the worse or like the lesser quality of play that these games are like the way they're playing these games, like the worse the quality it is, it's almost like the more entertaining it is for me.
Mm.
Like when kids
Because
are
you have
just
no
doing
idea what's
some
gonna
nut shit.
happen. You have no idea what's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Because like you expect like the quality of play obviously not to be to the level of the NBA, but sometimes it's even like they're on some high school vibes. And then you remember like these like some of these kids are literally were high schoolers like yesterday.
Yeah.
And
That's a
then you
fact.
see, like, I remember that first game in the first round against it was Furham. You predicted them to win, which is still
Farhan,
crazy. And
Farhan.
Virginia, that
Oh
the
my
first round,
goodness, man.
and the kid's like trapped, and he just throws like a
No, we
crazy
but
pass full court.
listen,
And it's
listen.
like, that only happens in college ball.
He was a fifth year senior though. Just understand that. So mind you, Virginia won the
That's tough.
championship 2019. He was on that roster, so he's battle tested. For you to make a
Wow.
mistake like that, that's crazy. And the year before that, I believe he did the same thing. So it's like at that point, what were
Oh
you really
wow.
doing on the teams? Did you not
Oh,
like retain any information, any muscle
oh.
memory? I'm like,
He was just
okay,
vibes for
he
four
was just
years.
vibing, man. If I
That's
He was a starter on their championship team.
that's what I'm saying.
what
It's
do you
tough,
think, Gabe?
man.
Like I said, I texted you, Jay, after that happened, and I said, especially with college kids, it's really easy when you're watching from like a bird's eye view or the broadcast. You know, when you play 2K
For
and you
sure.
can change the view to 2K, like your player on the
Yeah.
court, or like broadcast view. Like when you're
Yeah.
watching broadcast view, it's really easy for things to look way simpler than they seem when you're on the court. And I think that was definitely one of those moments where it was like, okay, it's hard to have the ball, guys in your face, and then you have to look at the clock.
Oh yeah.
I think it's way harder than people
Yeah.
think to look at the clock, know how much time is going on the clock as time's winding down, as well as trying to make the right play. And he probably thought, all right, let me just chuck this up. Either time will expire or it will fly to the other end of the court out of bounds. Somebody will tip. Chaos will
Yeah.
ensue. He didn't think it the worst possible thing that could have happened when he threw that pass happened. Of course the kid drills it. It's March
Oh yeah,
Madness.
Right.
yeah.
Of
So
course.
I did feel bad.
Nothing but net.
I did feel bad, but
If anything, I feel like the coach should have intervened in that
exactly,
moment
call a
because I think they
timeout.
had a timeout.
They
Yeah, he
did,
should have at
yeah.
least called a timeout. Like
Call,
college coaches, like if you're a good college coach or if you're a bad college coach, I think that gets enhanced more, especially in these games.
definitely, definitely.
So
But yeah, you can Jay, like you said, with like the quality of play and their kids, so you never know what's gonna happen. I was telling somebody the other day, I can't remember who, but there was a college game on the television, maybe at the gym, and one team was up by like 9 with 3 minutes left. And I'm thinking in the NBA, like this game is basically over, except unless it's the Celtics up 9, right? But I'm thinking this game's over, but no, it's college. These kids could piss down their leg immediately. Like
yeah,
you can visibly see it. Like you can say, "Oh, fucking James Harden doesn't show up in the playoffs," or this and that, and look at this guy choking. No, in college, you can see the kid
yeah,
shaking. Like Purdue the other
yeah.
night when they lost to 16,
Oh
they just
I'm
my
completely
mad.
checked out.
goodness.
Completely
I missed
checked
that
out.
game. I'm so mad I
Well,
missed it.
you didn't miss anything, man, to be honest.
Just
Yeah.
missing everything. All the guards just pissed down their legs. And of course they're
Yeah.
kids. Like I'm not here to shit on them,
Right,
but
right.
I'm just saying, like you
And
said,
most
that's
of
March
them,
Madness. Anything can happen.
yeah. And like there's probably what like only like 5% of the guys in the tournament are probably going to be in the league. Most of these guys aren't going to be like
Maybe
professional
less.
ball players after. Yeah, maybe less.
Probably less, especially with the
Right.
Europeans and
Mm-hmm.
players around the world that they are also competing
Yeah.
with now.
G League,
But
all that shit. So when
what,
you take
what,
that into account too, it's like it makes sense that You just
Were
see
you were you
chaos.
guys were you guys surprised that Purdue lost, if I may ask?
You got to be surprised. I mean, come on. You got to be
So
Well,
surprised
let
when
me
a
it
let
one
was
me
seed loses
once.
to a 16.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
re-
yeah,
the,
yeah.
the reason why I'm saying not really too surprised, because I feel like in college basketball, what do they always say? If you have good guard play, you are going to advance. Purdue doesn't really have that.
Mm.
They rely on that
Edie,
humongous man in
Edie,
the
Zach Edie.
post. He's not
colossal
a
titan.
no, says he's not an actual, like, he's a basketball player, but he's not like, he probably not going to be league ready.
Yeah,
So in that aspect, it's like, if you're, it's basically the white man's version of Taco Fall. They didn't go far with
Ah,
him. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what
yeah.
I'm trying to say. I feel like in this year, a lot of guys, a lot of teams, a lot higher seeds went down because of lack of guard play, and that's usually what you need. If you have guard play, you can go far in this league.
it does feel like there are more upsets. Like
I think
I feel like the
everybody's
other
close together.
116 upset was probably a few years ago, and before that it was like
It,
100
it was
years or some shit.
it was Virginia. It was Virginia,
It was
literally
yeah. Speaking of the devil,
crazy.
yeah. So I guess now I don't know. It's yeah, it's I don't know. I love it though. I just love the chaos.
I
Yeah, I
think it's
love
just
it.
spread out. It's like the
Yeah.
talent has been spread out a little more. I
Mm.
think I remember, I played high school basketball and shit. And just like thinking about playing in college. And I heard a quote like D3 college players today would be D1 in like 1990. Like if you're a
That's a
starter
fact.
for D3 team in 2023, you could probably be on a D1 roster back in the day. Of course, height and speed and physical strength is all involved when it comes to divisions. But
Yeah.
I think there's so many people playing the game now that some dudes might get overlooked, and all of a sudden,
You're
some
not wrong.
small school in New Jersey has like three studs as
That's a
guards that
Mm.
fact.
could just
That's a
like
fact.
any given day, it's single elimination. They could just beat Purdue.
Yeah.
Just like
Yes,
that. And
sir.
of course, Purdue's guards, who of course Edie's the centerpiece, but I guess their guards were like those 2 point guards, the two white kids they had, were like
Yeah,
this part of the centerpiece of that team.
Mm.
They just fell apart. And
yeah,
it was visible. It was visible.
very
But that's March
visible.
Madness.
Yeah, you gotta love it. All right.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Other thing I noticed too, like all the schools that we were so used to seeing dominate. Like now it's a bunch of football schools that are like the top five seeds. It's weird, like
Bama,
Alabama, Tennessee.
Oh yeah,
Arkansas.
Trying to think of Arkansas.
Arkansas
Yeah,
is
I'm like
making a push.
Arkansas. I don't even Razorbacks. Is that what they're called? But
Yeah.
my Razorbacks. But yeah, I don't know. That's another shift I've noticed too. Like
Texas,
the Blue Bloods,
Texas.
Texas.
Yep, Texas
Tennessee.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
all
said
the
yeah.
Blue Bloods that we remember just dominating throughout our like high school, a little bit of college. They're not like that anymore.
Well,
I
UNC
don't that
was
I don't understand why that's the case, but it's something I noticed.
UNC was ranked number one going into the season. They're the first number one ranked team going into the season to miss the tournament ever.
Such a
Wow,
failure, man. Such a fail, man. Such a big
wow,
fail. I'm
that's
really mad
crazy.
at that. It's really great. But what about, we're not even mentioning UConn? They're back. They're literally
UConn's
back.
back.
There's one of
That's
them.
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
I think they
facts.
could win. Honestly, I have Alabama facing UConn in the national championship. Now I don't know how likely. I think that could be very likely. Honestly, could
A
Hawkins
lot of
on
people
UConn.
a lot of people like Bama.
No, a lot of people like UConn. If you check all the college basketball analysts, they all have UConn in the Final Four. So this is potential to happen. I really think UConn has guard play. Like I told you before, if you have guards, you're making it far. So let's just don't sleep on UConn, man. Our neighbors over there. I think they can make a lot of noise.
We'll keep an eye out on them. Do they play today? No, right now, I think it's just Kentucky and Kansas.
They,
They're in a war right now, by the way.
I'm looking right now, man. Yo, anyone can win this.
Yeah, but yeah, now college hoops is fun time of year, man.
One time, yeah.
In other basketball news, we were talking a little bit before we went live today. In that is the Celtics blowing another lead to the Jazz last night. Um, I'm officially sort of at the point where I'm nervous that last year is the aberration, or at the very least that this team needs Ime. They need a coach that can. There was something he was doing that was bringing them to a level of play that they are just not at with Missoula.
Yeah.
And also the lineups. The Derek White just not playing fourth quarters and shit. What are we missing? I don't obviously these NBA coaches are guys who have played and seen so much more basketball than all of us combined. So I don't like to act like they're stupid or anything. I don't think Missoula is a bad coach necessarily, but what I don't understand why it's the Grant Williams show in the fourth quarter every. Why is it always coming to Jay?
Him
Like
taking
five
the
times,
final shot
like five
is
times in the past
crazy.
few months, Jay. I've been like, well, Grant,
Yeah.
like it'll be like, oh, Grant fucked it up again. It's like, why is he even in this position to be out there making this
Yeah.
move? So I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on the Celtics as of late?
As of late, it's very concerning, man. Like Jason Tatum coming into this year, what did we say? You have to put a show on. I really thought he could be MVP. He has digressed a little bit. It is not good what I'm seeing. He's not hitting shots. He's going to the rim. He's not finishing at a good rate anymore. Jaylen Brown, it's like he's a whole nother man in a good way. But for us to, go far, we need both of these guys. Literally, Jaylen Brown was there for the finals. He showed up. But guess who didn't? Jason Tatum. And that's why we went home. Like you said about Grant Williams, there's a reason why we didn't extend him. And now he's looking for 20 million. I don't think he proved
Good
his
luck.
case right now. He's not getting that. So if I'm him, I just take what I could get because I'm not sure who's gonna pay you 20 million now. You're telling me you can make both? You can't make both at the free throw line. Like I could
Yeah.
it's very concerning. Like we just talked about earlier, Philly now has sole possession of second place. Third place, I guess that's fine because if we interchange second and third, we'll play Philly in the second round either way. And
Save Milwaukee for later. Yeah.
yeah, and history tells us we are going to beat Philly. But I'm just someone that has the mindset that if we didn't have home court last year, Milwaukee would have beat us.
Mm.
So that's something to worry about. And obviously, the West is wide open. So if we can get to the finals, I feel like it's our chance. But that's the problem. Can we get to the finals? The East is pretty tough this year. And let's not forget about Cleveland. They play us tough every game. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brooklyn, bro, look what they just did to us, bro. Mikal Bridges is on his way. Don't sleep on him.
They have their new KD.
Yeah, literally, man.
Yeah, I think it's tough when you're like your best player, like Jason Tatum's your best player, right? It's tough when your best player is also not the leader. To be honest, it kind of reminds me of those old Oklahoma City Thunder teams with KD and Russ, like when they were younger and they would like have some moments in the playoffs where it looked bad and KD like I'm not gonna lie, like there was times where he was not stepping up to the plate, but obviously he's their best player. Then you got Westbrook who could be problematic at times,
Yes,
but
sir.
he's
And
played
he's
with that
taking control.
fearlessness. Yeah,
Yes,
and I
sir.
kind of see that with Tatum and Brown now in a way. And then you throw Marcus Smart into the mix, where he's probably like the most like dog guy on the team, like where he's just not
Yeah,
scared of no one.
he's
Like
like
he'll go
that.
to war, but you don't want Marcus Smart making decisions for you. Like so, I
No, you
wish
don't.
And Smart
you
hasn't
know,
played well.
and he is not playing. So I
Nah.
wish Tatum. To me, it comes down to Tatum. I thought like he started off the season, it looked like he was one of those guys, and then the middle of the season, he kind of sort of tailed off. And now I wouldn't say like I
He's
don't know.
played
I would.
himself out of the MVP discussion, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely the MVP
And
discussion. Like, all right, let me ask y'all: out of Tatum, Embiid, and Luca, who would like? What would you rank? What would be the rankings for you out of those three players? Right, going into the postseason right now, the way it is.
well,
Right
Not
now,
let
the
me
saying
way it
like,
is, I mean,
not saying who's the
obviously,
MVP, but like
honestly,
seven
right
game
now, Tatum's
series.
last. Right now, at this point in time, Tatum's last. He's playing
What
terribly,
seven
but
game series? If
overall,
you want to go into a 7 game series with the guys,
oh,
would Tatum still be last?
wait, 7 game. Oh, okay, now
it's
you
super
changed it
tough.
up. That's tough. I'm gonna, based on what their careers have been in the postseason and regular season, I'm forced to go with Tatum number one, and then I will go with Luca. Embiid will be last to me because there's that factor that is he gonna be on the floor? Luca, I feel like we can trap him. He's not going to know what to do because he's never played with other superstars. Tatum, at least for him, I got to give him credit. If he's not having a good game, you know what he's going to do? Facilitate. He's going to be able to get others involved and affect the game. That's what he's worked on this year. If he's
See, I
not having
feel
a
that
good,
way about Luca more
really,
than yeah,
really,
but But I'm here. I hear the case. I hear the case.
That's
But
not
I
what you
just
wanted to
feel
hear, Jay.
hmm, okay. Okay. I
Jay, you
respect it.
wanted to hear
Yeah, I was want to
you
hear Kevin
you
Durant
wanted
was
to
talking
you
about.
wanted to hear Kevin fuck those guys, Kevin Durant,
That's all I
and
want to
then
hear.
Tatum last.
But I feel like Tatum. I don't know. I feel as if like I don't know. I feel differently, Namdi. I feel as if his shot's not falling, then he just gets spooked out more so than those
Yeah,
other guys. And Embiid, it's like fatigue down the stretch, that's definitely a problem. But Luca, it feels like you're always gonna feel Luca during a game, like from beginning to
Yeah,
end. I feel like you're always gonna feel him more so
but
than
but
those other two.
but we have to understand Tatum is a two-way player. So if he's not
I was
playing
gonna mention
offense
that.
well,
Yeah,
he is going to play defense to his best ability. Luca can't play defense for shit. No offense. Embiid, he's a two-way player. I guess you can say that, but he's a big man. There's only so much a big man can do, honestly.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
the
tough. All those
archetype,
three are
like
very close.
yeah, Tatum's archetype should be like the best player.
Yes,
But
sir.
I
Yes.
don't think he's wired like that all the time. That's why I have some hesitancy with
You,
him.
you don't
But
think he has the it
you
factor?
you guys make good cases though. I don't know. I don't know.
Luca
Like
just has had the most consistent.
Lucas just
I feel
different.
like I'm guaranteed a certain amount of
Okay.
production with Luca.
Yeah,
I
However,
respect it.
Tatum on the defensive end,
Yes,
I
sir.
do think he's a special two-way player.
He is.
And Embiid at his best is very, very good.
hmm
Um,
He should be MVP, by the way. Let's campaign for that right now. He should be MVP, in my opinion.
I mean, we're gonna definitely have that discussion.
it's still some games left, but if it ended today, yeah.
Uh,
Word.
But I think it could change. No bullshit.
Just to wrap things up, we'll get into this actually, but let me just wrap up this Celtics thing and say that I am very, very nervous. And that is, you bring up leadership, Jay. I think that's very important, and we need to see them step up before it's too late. You can't just roll into the
Yeah.
playoffs
Nope. No, you
and think you're
can't.
gonna turn it on like that.
Nope.
Even like I feel like Golden State, I feel like we've reached a point with both of these teams where it's like Golden State, oh, they'll get it together, they'll get it together. No, it doesn't look like Wiggins is coming back. Doesn't look like it really doesn't look like Draymond's the same guy. Poole has totally regressed.
Who
And the
hit
same
a
could be said
lick
for
on
Celtics.
them
Huh?
with
Oh
that
man.
contract? Oh my god, 120 million
Yeah.
just to like lose
He
his
scammed
minutes
them.
to Dante DiVincenzo?
He scammed
Crazy.
them. Indeed, he scammed them.
And Steph has been fantastic, but yeah, both those teams, we've passed the point where it's like they'll turn it on. It's like, no,
Yeah,
now I'm actually panicking if I'm both of those teams.
that's a fact.
And it's wide open. The league is wide open right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the MVP, Namdi. So I think it's a three-man race right now.
Let's hear it.
It's Embiid, it's Jokic, and it's Giannis.
Okay. Can I ask a
Yep.
question? I
Aaron
understand
Fox.
about Giannis, but he's missed so many games. Why do we have him in this MVP discussion,
How
bro?
many games has he missed?
I was actually just about to pull it up now. It does feel like he's missed more than those other guys. But
Yeah, but we gotta.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know the numbers off the top of
It
my head.
has to be a
But
significant amount.
Yeah,
if it's 10 games though, we can't. No,
10 games. I think that's a good amount to like make it for it to sway in a different direction. 10 games is enough. That's like almost a
we
month.
can't be giving people accolades for missing games. I mean, what has this league come down to these days?
Okay.
People come to work every day and don't get recognized. That's really wild to me.
Hold on. Hold on.
So Giannis has played in 55 games.
Imagine that.
Embiid's played
Imagine
in
that.
57.
Really?
Embiid's 57. I bet Jokic is the leader in
Yeah, I'm sure Jokic is
this
the leader.
statistic.
Wow.
55, 57, and Jokic is probably 63. Okay, so they're all within the same playing field. So the
Wow.
games played,
Yeah.
I don't
The
think that should
NBA
play it too much, to be
the
honest.
NBA has
My
really
opinion.
changed, man. The NBA has really changed,
Well,
man.
how many games have been played this year? They're not at the 70 game mark, are they?
71 games. Well, at
71
least
games.
I'm looking for Jokic. Denver's played 71 games. He's played in 63 of those.
Okay.
So that even
I feel
feels like low for him because it feels like he's always
Yeah,
Right.
an 82 guy. Now he's missing a bulk of games.
yeah, man.
I don't know. It's a tight race though. It's so all right. So who's your pick, Moby?
So I'm gonna go in the order. I'm going Embiid, Jokic, Giannis. The reason why I'm going Embiid, he has literally been on knocking on the door for the past 2 years and this year. The first year, I think he should have got it. The second year, I'm not saying give a pity award, but there's voter fatigue. So if there's voter fatigue for that, why don't we do it the other way? You feel bad for someone, let's give it to them if they're near. And then this year, I can see them really doing him dirty, but I really feel like he should get it. He's been playing in the meaningful games. He really he doesn't he's not worrying about the MVP. Like he'll take the championship by all means.
Oh,
But
he's worried about the MVP, dude.
are you sure?
There's a whole media mafia behind
Uh,
pushing
uh,
pushing the
but not
MVP case for Embiid over the past 2 years.
but not
It's been
Jokic.
weird out of the Philly camp.
And 2 years ago, he played 51 games. He definitely didn't deserve it that year.
But not Jokic. He's not pulling for this with his stats. No.
Jokic gets his stats organically. That shouldn't be why people the Jokic, to use a word you're very fond of, the Jokic slander has been way out of control lately. Where
Kendrick
yes,
Perkins.
he's not the best defensive player. Yes, I understand sort of the vote for Jokic is coming from this NBA nerd analytic geek thing that we kind of all try to rebel against.
Yes.
But to take all that negative energy towards that and throw it at Jokic and throw it at his MVP case and just try to like take down his game in general is just stupid.
So
My
let me
MVP pick right now at this, if I had a vote right now at this point in time in the season, ended today, which it doesn't. There's still more basketball to be played. But if it ended today, my pick would be Embiid. But the Jokic, like let's pick apart. He's such a worse defender and blah blah blah. I don't like that at all.
but
Because everybody's having a great year.
I feel like it. When it comes to the MVP discussion, if you're trying to nitpick like little things, like they all have their own flaws. Like Embiid getting tired at the end of the games, and just like just playing like a tired lazy boy sometimes. Giannis, I guess the jump shooting you can point at that. Jokic, the defense. I think like if you're gonna point out flaws in players, it should be more so around like what's the team's success going to be for the championship. Then it's fair to bring up the Jokic defense, which like in Denver's trying to win a championship. That's definitely a concern that people should have. And that's their pick or their fans. But if it's like, oh, Jokic got killed by Van Fleet in the pick and roll, he's not the MVP after this. And
Just
Embiid
picking out random clips.
Yeah, Embiid did a little better. It depends on like the context of the conversation. Like if it's for the MVP, I don't think that's fair because those guys are all so close. But if you're talking about like the team's success and like this guy's flaws impacting that team's success and like their championship aspirations, I think that's a fair approach to how you like should nitpick players. But yeah, I think it's also tough to like maybe this isn't fair, but winning 3 straight MVPs, I think the third one should be harder.
Yes.
Like I think Jokic should be so much far and ahead of those other guys if he's to win the third one. And like I don't think that's the case. Like I think Embiid, ever since they played in January when Embiid just like dominated him that game, since then like he's been the best player. So yeah, unless Embiid just falls off, I think it's his to lose.
There should honestly I think to combat this, you should have they have a defensive player of the year award. They should have an offensive player of the year award.
Yeah, it's like football.
Yeah, they should. Jokic has the best offensive game. Give him and then you could give the most valuable player to Embiid. I also think part of the whole, because this has gotten so like snippy and feisty, this MVP debate, not the one we're having right now, but the discussion we're having a discussion about.
Yeah, the general discourse.
Yeah, the general discourse. I think part of it, we value the MVP a little too much.
Yes.
When I look at NBA history, and Jay, we do our Pantheon rankings and we do our top 50s. The MVP is not like the go-to thing that we look at. Does it help? Yes, but doesn't. It just means you had the best season that year. That's all that means in the grand scheme of things. I'm not too concerned about that.
Yeah, no bullshit. It feels like having more first team All NBAs weighs more Like if you're looking at a guy's career, it's like, okay, were you an MVP this season where a lot of things were weird, or have you been like a top 2, 3 guy at your position for like 6, 7 years stretch?
Yeah.
I think to me that. So I
Kobe
feel
has
you on
won
that.
MVP.
Yeah,
Shaq has
like
won MVP.
KD has one. Like all the guys that are all-time guys, there's only one on
Yeah.
their resume.
A lot
So
of them
I
And
just have one.
and
think that's fair.
the same with All-Star appearances. I think I know for football it's not really, warranted a lot, but for basketball, if I can tell you, oh, this player X player is 10-time All-Star, that holds a lot. You're gonna be thinking, oh,
Yeah,
this is probably a
10
future Hall of
guess.
Famer. Yeah,
I
definitely.
don't like how they're cooking the All-Star shit now though with this the fan thing. I don't
Yeah.
as the
No, they're
All
messing up. Oh my goodness.
because like
It's
Wiggins having an All-Star under his resume over some other guys that year that are probably way better than him.
He earned
Like
it down the at
I
the end
don't
of the
hate
year.
it.
He earned it.
He earned it, but like there's probably other guys who earned it more, you know. And that when we step back and look at history, it's like I should probably have the exact names for my argument, but
but
it just feels
Trey,
like
Russillo would
the whole
Russillo would come after you for that. Okay,
yeah.
so who?
We'll
So you
name
have to
them,
have the
list them.
names.
Yeah, I need numbers and I need names. Yeah, but I don't know. It's like that. Just like in general
He was
though,
the
like
second
as
best player on the team
fans.
that won the NBA championship. That's all I'm saying. And he
But was
shut
he?
down our guys. And he
He's not
wait,
an
produced
wait,
All
on the
Star
offensive end.
starter though. He did have
wait.
Tatum and
Oh,
help.
all-star starter for sure. For sure.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like
He earned the he earned the star on his basketball reference page. The one-time all-star.
Nah, but think about it like this though. The format is a little bit better because if you guys remember back then, it was 100% fan vote for starters. So do you want
oh,
fans
okay,
just you want fans voting in someone like Zaza Pachulia again? Do you want
okay,
that?
nasty.
That's why they
Yeah,
changed it. Now it's 25%, it's 50% fans, 25% media, 25% players. Now
yeah.
I really wish if fans didn't have a lot of say. I wish it was 25% fans and you either put media or players 50 because I think they know what's going on more, not fans because they could still mess
I
up.
think that's fair.
Kyrie Irving was an all-star starter. He did not play a lot of games. Now that I know of it, he really did not play a lot of games, and he got it over someone like Jaylen Brown. I was so mad, so
Yeah,
mad. That's not
The
fair.
position thing is tough too.
It's
yeah.
crazy.
The farther we get into the future of basketball and positionless basketball,
It's
the
gonna get
harder it is to do these
harder,
all NBAs, all
Oh
stars.
my goodness, man.
Can you imagine? Can you guys
and it's
imagine
tough
if
too.
you guys imagine if
Yeah.
fans voted for MVP?
Oh my
Oh my
god, bro.
goodness. This
It
would be
gets scary.
LeBron would
them.
just win every year. LeBron would just win the
Probably,
MVP
yeah.
every year.
Him and
Yes,
Steph
sir.
probably would just even when they're out. Yeah, I guess my biggest takeaway from this is like it's probably never going to be perfect where we're all satisfied. There's always going to be something that
Yeah.
we'll have an issue with. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's all I have on
And
that
it's
MVP
tough,
stuff.
right? It's tough. It's like it's not the end of the world if Jokic if God came down and like could completely decide, could just tell us, no, this guy had the better season because this, and this. It's not the end of the world if the other guy ended up getting the MVP. It's not the I just don't think we'll care too much down the line. We care about playoff success, which is another
Yes.
conversation that Lillard talked about with the ring culture and everything.
Yep, yep,
That's why
yep,
players aren't playing in the regular season. And
yep.
there's truth to that,
Yeah,
but
there is.
there's truth to that. But that's just how it is. Like we're just not it's not the end of the world if
Mhm.
MB doesn't win this year and
That's
vice
a fact.
versa. If Jokic ends up having a better year,
For him, it might
he
be.
doesn't win it because he had two already. I just
Yeah.
we overvalue it a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of checked out when Westbrook won and nobody even cared to say that. Like I thought Kawhi was the best player that year.
Yeah.
Mm,
And
mm.
it's about criteria, right? Like what's your criteria? They
It
should write
changes
down
every
what the
year.
exact criteria is.
Changes every year. Changes every year, literally.
Because I thought the most valuable player to his team that year was Kawhi. And it showed in the playoffs when the Rockets beat the Thunder easily. And then the Spurs beat the Rockets easily. And Kawhi was
Mhm.
the only all-star in that team. So I think maybe Aldridge. But that's neither here nor there. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can move on.
I mean, we have Aaron Rodgers on the agenda.
I don't know why. I don't know why I thought you were about to say we have Aaron Rodgers
We have
coming up
Aaron
next as
Rodgers
a
in
guest.
studio.
I would love that though. I would love to talk to him.
What would you say to him if he was here right now?
I'd
Oh, that's
say
a good question.
honestly, I I would agree with his antics, what he's doing, because I feel like he's just giving his comeuppance right now because Green Bay treated him like shit for so many years. Now he's trying to just give them their own
Did they
medicine. You
though?
understand what I'm saying?
Uh
No, because
oh.
they no just hear
Uh
me out.
oh.
Hear me out.
Okay.
I'm hearing. I'm listening.
Just hear me out. For a lot of years, he was doing the Tom Brady effect. He didn't have the greatest of weapons. I understand you say Jordy Nelson. I think he
Careful,
molded
Nami.
no, but listen, he molded them
Careful.
into what they were in a sense. So Aaron
Okay.
Rodgers really he didn't ask for much. He just came and played. He didn't really talk much. We didn't hear Aaron Rodgers talk like how he is now for the last 2, 3 years. And these are the years he's winning MVPs,
We're
taking the
definitely hearing
school.
a lot of more opinions from him. That's for sure.
You understand what I'm saying? So like, remember he was contemplating retirement last offseason, not this one, last offseason, because they didn't want to give him anything. And he was like, give me some money, give me some weapons, give me everything. Now they gave him money. Now he feels entitled because he's like, you were doing this to me all my career. So let me do it back. I don't have any problem with what he's doing. Honestly, I
Wow.
really
Okay.
don't.
That's an
I,
interesting angle. Gabe, what are your thoughts?
I want to hear your thoughts. I need to. I really need to process what I just heard.
Digest that.
Yeah, I need to
I would
digest
say
that.
probably the only thing where I'm like, all right, maybe I could kind of get where Aaron Rodgers is coming from is when they drafted the quarterback that year. When like I think that was probably the year it was only Devontae. I felt as if in my head, like I'm trying to remember, like that was the year it was like just Devontae Adams and no one else, and they
idiotic
went and
move.
drafted a quarterback. Yeah, that I'm like, all right, I could see how he you know feels a certain way about that, especially if they're trying to compete for championships. But I don't know, everything that's followed that, bro, it's just been like him just wanting attention. It feels like going on the Pat McAfee show, saying some wreck shit. Just like I don't know, bro. Like he just like telling us he's gonna go to some mountain in the fucking
Yeah, I know that's irrelevant. But I'm just saying
Malaysia.
yeah,
Just
that's
like
irrelevant.
I
But
don't know.
the principle of what he's doing, I agree with. But the antics, maybe I don't. In terms of the Pat McAfee show, you don't really gotta be doing that. I think he told Adam Schefter, he told him stop texting my phone. Like you don't really gotta
So
be
lose my
doing any of
number.
lose my number. Like you don't really gotta be doing this. But he has the right to say, "Oh, I want to play for another team." It's not working out, bro. How many times they keep going to this NFC Championship and getting laying an egg? Like it might just be.
Yeah, he might
They
have
just need
something to
to.
do with that.
I think he loves this shit. I think even us like this is what he fucking
I was gonna
thrives
say
off of.
that
Just
too.
us talking about him
He loves
Yeah,
us.
and
it's
Sports
that.
I
Center
stopped
doing the
myself from
thing.
tweeting about him like I don't know a few times a day because I'm like this is exactly what he wants.
Don't tweet
He
about
loves
him
it.
now. Don't tweet about him. He might block you.
Shit.
Forget about that. He might.
And
Shit.
he's like, and that's another thing. Like, is he a Jet or is he not a Jet? Like, why is this not simple? I feel as if every
I
other
wouldn't be surprised if he ends up back in Green Bay.
that
He
or
might.
like
He might retire.
retires
Yeah, he might retire.
or just goes off the grid and starts hosting shows with what's that crazy guy, Alex? I don't even want to. I
Alex
don't even remember
Jones.
his last name. Yeah, Alex Jones. Like he just does it. Has a podcast with him. I don't know, bro. Like, why is this dude like? Why is he not a New York Jet? If he intends to play and
In his wish
the report
list,
comes out, it's so
his wish
weird.
list involved like guys who are on the
Every
Packers now.
yeah,
So he doesn't like his weapons, but he wants to go to a new team and then bring the weapons.
Wait. Hold
By
on.
the
But
way, he's
what?
had weapons. He's had a really
No.
good running back core. He had the best receiver in football for years. Um, and he had decent receivers before that. There were a few years where it's like, okay, he's doing a lot with a little. And
yeah.
again, he bugs the shit out of me. He is one of the best three or four quarterbacks of the last 20 years.
A fact. A
But
fact.
he's not a team guy. He's not a team guy. He's all
He's
about the distractions. He's all about distancing himself from the team when things go south. It's one of the it's something I hate to see in sports. And these playoff collapses, a lot of them have to do with him not making plays. He didn't make plays against San Francisco a few years ago, and he didn't make plays in that Tampa Bay game. You know who made plays in that Tampa Bay game?
Ooh.
Let's hear it.
I won't even say his name. He's not
No,
playing.
say it.
He's not playing
No,
anymore.
that's my guy.
That's
A
that's
neighborhood
pops.
hero.
That's
Neighborhood
pops.
hero. I
We haven't
love him.
brought him up on the pod in a while, Jay.
Papa Tom, I know, but you
Yeah,
know I
Neighborhood
can
Papa Tom.
hero.
He
Neighborhood
posted
hero.
on IG the other day. It was like one of those pictures of him getting off a plane and walking. I was like,
You cried.
Yeah,
I
I
gotta
was
go
like,
look
he's
it
not
up.
walking. I wanted to believe he's walking into a training camp or something, but that's not. But like,
Let me
go on, go
let
on.
let no. I was gonna ask a question because of the controversy of him going to the Jets. Do you guys realize the reason why it's not happening yet is because of compensation? So I was gonna ask, what's enough for Aaron Rodgers to go to the Jets in terms of compensation to go to the Packers with that?
Okay, so I'm glad you said that number. So is it the Packers not like they're not giving the Jets enough? Because I'm not gonna lie, I just see that and like he intends to be a Jet. He's like, I want these guys. And in my head, I'm just thinking like, okay, Aaron Rodgers is being difficult for no reason. He just
It's
wants
not
people to
him.
talk about him. But it could be maybe the Packers are being difficult in this specific
Yeah,
situation, which
because this is how I feel
I'll
about
admit
it.
I don't have the full details.
This is how I feel about it. I understand he's got an MVP 2 of the last 3 years, but you're an aging quarterback. You don't know next year he could be like, oh, I'm waking up, I might retire. So in that aspect, you can't throw all your expenses to this type of quarterback. So this is a year-to-year thing. So in that aspect, I think a third round pick, 2 third round picks. I think that's very legit. You can't be giving first round picks because the Jets are a young team. They need those assets to
Yeah.
help Aaron Rodgers play. If you give up all those and now Aaron Rodgers comes, now he's going to be looking like Green Bay on the East Coast. And now what is he going to do? Retire? Jets have nothing at this point. No quarterback, no young receivers, no
Well,
draft picks. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to be careful. I think third round, 2 third round pick, a second and a third. How about that?
what did
Don't give up
well
no first.
what did Denver trade to get Russell Wilson?
They
I feel like that should be the
He traded
like the
like quite a
standard, and then
bit.
maybe
Yeah. I can't remember, Jay, but there was multiple picks involved and maybe even a
yeah.
first round pick in there.
but
I'm trying to
but
look it up
let's
right
let's
now.
be let's be careful on that because look, they
Two
traded
first
all
round
they
picks and
but
two second round
but
picks.
Jay,
That's
but
a
listen,
lot.
Jay, but let's be careful now. They
Yeah.
traded a lot, like you just said. What did Russell Wilson just do?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? We have to be careful, man, before you give
And
your
it's the same type of deal. It's another guy who was like, it's not me, it's this team sucks. This
That's what I'm
organization's bringing
saying.
me
So
down.
yeah, so you give them a third round pick. I think third round because bro, in NFL, every draft pick like 1 to 4 are pretty like they're
Yeah.
valued. So
You could
in
get a
that
starter in the third round in that draft, I
Yeah.
yes,
feel
even
like.
even a fourth, bro, even a fifth.
Yeah.
Every round you
Honestly,
give it
well, the
Even the
best is a
six.
sixth.
it.
Uh-huh.
Even the
We
six.
know if you know, right? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. It would be funny though if he just ends up a Packer or if he just retires. I think
It's
that would
gonna
just be
be
so
it's
funny.
gonna be him in New York. It's gonna be OBJ, and they're gonna go 7-10 and miss the playoffs. But they're
The,
gonna be the
the
most talked about team in football.
the inner New England in me does not want him to come though because we already faced Buffalo. Miami has just got better bringing Jalen Ramsey. We don't want Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to be last in the division. I really do
Yeah,
not, man.
I'm not gonna lie. If he ends up on the Jets, I think they're gonna be nice. They
They're
probably
gonna be
won't. I don't.
very nice.
I'm not saying they're going to the Super
Yeah,
Bowl because that's like Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. We already touched on that, but that feels
he's
it feels as if they were already a good team and they were just missing a quarterback because they had the Milk
Zach
Slayer
Wilson.
he
leading
had a
the
Lord
bad
yeah
year.
mercy.
Rogers had a
yeah
bad year last year, but he's
And
still a
still
huge
good.
step up from
yeah
Zach
he's a
Zach
Wilson,
good
Wilson.
one
obviously.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
And there's a chance he bounces back from the year he had. But yeah, Patriots bringing up the AFC East. I'd love to get Hopkins.
No,
If
but
if
see,
we can
we're
have
not gonna.
Hopkins and fucking then Juju can be number two.
I can't
We have
believe we
Hunter
have
Hunter.
Juju, bro.
Two things on that. One, there's a
Running
reason why
backs.
D. There's two reasons why D Hopkins isn't coming. Bill O'Brien was his former coach, and he literally said on the air, "I hate this man." Bill O'Brien
Wait,
is no
really?
seriously, no seriously. Bill O'Brien is now our OC.
Yeah,
Why would he now
yes.
come and reunite with this guy? So
Yeah,
that's cap right there. That's not gonna
we can kiss
happen.
that by.
I didn't
Yeah,
know the
kiss
beef
that.
was that bad.
No, it's really that bad. It was really toxic in Houston. Everyone should know that. And then with Juju, I'm not mad at it, but could we not have kept Jacoby Myers? Could we
It
I
not
was
think
have
one or
done
the
that?
other, I guess. We
I'm
gave
with you on
Juju
that.
what Jacoby was asking for.
My goodness, man. Like
So
he yep.
was Jacoby just asking for too much money? Is that why we didn't keep him?
I guess
I'm not
they're like the money you were asking for is not like we can get Juju for the money you're asking for, and we think Juju is much better than you.
no,
Which
he
maybe
definitely
he
is
is.
though. He definitely
I
is.
don't. Is he, bro?
But yeah, he's never proved that he's the number one option because when he was with
He's not.
Antonio Brown showed him this is how you do it. And then when Antonio Brown left, he wasn't really doing anything. And then he went to Kansas City. You weren't even the number one option there. So I'm not sure what's going
Yeah,
on.
like I think To be honest, I think Jacoby Myers is better. I could be wrong, but
We
He
will
was
see
definitely
this year.
one of my favorite Patriots.
yeah,
No,
like
that's a fact.
he's dealt with like Mac Jones, who hasn't had the greatest start to his career, and then the whole QB carousel. And it feels like he's always like if a guy on the Patriots is on a fantasy team, I think he's valid. Like I think he's making shit work with what he has, and he was a guy that
Tom
you know,
Brady spoke highly. Tom Brady
I've
spoke
had some
highly of
cups of
him.
coffees with him. Yeah, I think he's good. Honestly, I think we're gonna miss him a little. We'll
Yeah,
see though.
we shall see.
The
We shall
Pats,
see.
oh boy, yeah,
Mac Jones, man, this is his time. He's on the hot seat, man. If he can't deliver
Yeah.
this, I feel like last year it wasn't his fault, but this
yeah.
year, if you can't deliver, we might have to look, man. I've been hearing a lot of news centers say we should even look into Lamar Jackson. I'm not mad at it.
You heard
I'm
that from
not mad at
me.
it. I'm not mad at it. Lamar Jackson, New England.
Or
Oh, I'm
trade up
going.
for CJ Stroud.
Richie Make.
Are we sure about that one, man? We sure about that one?
You know,
What
you
do you
didn't
think?
like what you saw from CJ Stroud.
Nah, I did, but
He's good. He
I'm
impressed
not.
me. I'm not gonna lie.
Mac Jones also impressed me too in Alabama. It's not always
Yeah.
translating, man. You know what?
But
Yeah.
I guess it's hard. They all have like these amazing like those Bama, Ohio State, Clemson. They're the quarterbacks. It's hard to look bad in those offenses.
Yeah.
I feel like CJ Stroud's performance in that bowl game stuck out to me
Yeah.
more than any other college quarterback performance I've seen in recent memory.
One bowl game.
I just don't have too much. Like I'm not gonna lie. I don't
Well, he
remember like
lost the fact that he lost his number one, right? They lost
the
Marvin
Marvin
Harrison
Harrison
Jr.
Jr. Yeah.
at like in the first or second quarter, and then still hung out, like
Should have
almost beat the
won.
champs. Because
Yeah.
then the next week, that Georgia defense, by the way, is insane. Like their
Very
entire
insane.
defense is going into the NFL this year. The
Yeah.
first 10 picks are all is the entire Georgia D line. That just
Fascinating
stuck
guy.
out to me. Where Mac Jones, I just remember he could just drop back and pass to you name it.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
are his number one receivers? Because they're number one receivers in the NFL right now.
Was he with Jerry Judy and
Was it like CeeDee Lamb? I can't
Henry
remember.
Ruggs?
And
Those guys.
Ooh.
Jameson Williams, he was there
Oh,
too.
Detroit, the kid that's on the line.
Yeah, he was there. He got injured in that game in the championship game, I believe. He got injured in that game.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
To be honest, I really don't remember how Max, like how he performed in Alabama. I just like I know they were good, but you're right, Gabe. CJ Stroud, he definitely stood out to me in that game. Like that was a guy. Where I'm like, okay, I'm actually watching it. A guy play the quarterback position, pretty well.
On
Yeah.
on a
We'll
si-
see.
on a side note though, can I ask y'all how do y'all feel about what the Chicago Bears have been doing?
That's a great question because we
Ooh,
haven't
that
talked about
is
that on here.
because they still have the pick, right? They haven't traded it.
They
No,
did.
they traded, but
they
they got
The
traded it?
Panthers.
no, they got
Oh,
picks.
yeah.
No, it's like I think it's like the seventh pick now. They have the
I
seventh pick.
forgot.
Yeah. Didn't they get like the fifth
So
and
what
seventh
happened?
pickers? Well, now they have like 2 top 10 picks.
Two top 10
I,
picks. DJ
And DJ
Moore, a
Moore.
number one receiver, and they have a number two in Chase Claypool. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, Justin Fields is he's doing the gritty right now at his house for sure. Oh, Chicago, look out for
damn.
them, man. Look out for
So
them.
they have 2 top 10 picks.
They finesse Carolina, man. They definitely finessed them.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I think that that's Gabe, I was telling you this. I think that I was saying like I think they should trade because what's the point if you're not gonna take a quarterback and like if you don't love like if
Yeah.
Bryce Young or whoever just doesn't move you OD like where it's like okay I have to take this guy. Might as well
Right.
just try to get more bang for your buck with trading that first round pick. Okay, yeah, they could make some noise. They got Claypool, Mooney. I'm just looking at like some
Those
shit
are
right now.
big receiver type. The Mac Jones will be dying for those type of guys right now, man.
And now
we
Bryce goes to Carolina and
No,
Is
no,
set up
what's
for
that gonna
failure.
look
no.
like?
I'm
Yeah,
not sure about
facts.
that. I'm not sure about if
we don't think.
I'm not sure because his size is concerning a lot of people. I think they might take CJ Stroud.
You
Watch
think he's
out.
going 1?
Watch
I
out.
would take him 1, but I haven't heard anything about him
I
going
think
1.
no, it's
Or
not.
the
I think
fucking what's his name? Richardson
Richards.
Oh, Florida
from
guy.
Florida.
I like him.
Oh, okay.
Because he's got the builds. He's got the NFL builds.
Yeah, Carolina. If you look at their roster, even though they trade DJ Moore, they're not in a complete rebuild right now. They still have cats that can ball. So if I'm them, get some guy
I can't
who's
name a single receiver on that team, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Not
I know they
anymore.
got
That
some running
Moore's
no,
backs.
gone.
no. I'm
They got
talking about
Hubbard.
complete team, not just the receivers. I'm saying just
And
overall as a team.
yeah. No, bullshit. That's fair enough because it does feel like, Gabe. I remember like when the Bucks were trying to win all these games. It felt like Carolina turned it
They
up
were
second
still
half of the
there
season.
with
Yeah,
Baker Mayfield. Like
with
imagine someone just a
yeah,
little bit better
Sam
than
Speaking
Darnold.
of the Bucks,
Yeah, and that's another move that happened too. Baker to Tampa.
big shoes to fill.
How
Baker.
does he
Yeah,
keep getting jobs like this, man?
It's that Thursday
telling
night
you.
game that I was in
Yeah,
an Uber with
facts.
Jay texting me about because I didn't see it, but
I
Jay
was
just
literally about to
texted.
bring that
Baker
up.
just led a 150-yard drive with 2 seconds left to
It
win the
was
game.
literally, it was like 99 yards, bro.
Man, it is sick, man. He in Cleveland, I kept defending him so many times. For him to just keep letting me down, and ultimately just letting me down for good, man. He's not good. Just stay off those
I think the way
progressive
he was
commercials,
fed,
man.
the way he was fed to us, yeah, even the commercials, like the way he was like just advertised to us as like Baker's just like grit and grind type of quarterback,
Nah.
stomping the flag on the opponent's field when he was in college. Like he's not afraid to go
He
to
was,
war, and
it
he's
was
a
a
good
system.
player. And it was just the complete opposite.
Yeah, it wasn't him. Lincoln Riley historically has shown us if he gets a quarterback, they are going to be good. Remember, Baker Mayfield, um, Kyler Murray, and now this dude in USC. Literally, Lincoln Riley.
Oh
If
shit,
he can
Caleb.
if he can identify a quarterback, they are going probably top five in the draft. It's not even a quarterback at that point. He just puts them up for success. It's
Yeah,
inevitable at that point.
that's interesting.
So you're Numdi,
Yeah,
you're a big Saturday guy, huh? You watch on
Saturday.
Saturdays.
You said
Saturdays are
what?
for the
You be
boys.
watching on Saturdays.
Oh, Saturday. You talk about the college football?
Yeah.
No, I would say I usually keep up on it through like ESPN and highlights. I wouldn't say I'd be,
Okay.
tuning in, but I'm very big on the top 25, like how Cincinnati was making it these years, Alabama. I really thought Tennessee could be, they
Yeah,
could be contenders, but they kept missing some games, man. That's the only thing. I'm happy that it's expanding to how many teams? Is it 8 teams or 10 teams? Which one is it?
In the
I think
playoffs?
Yeah,
the college football playoffs.
I
Yeah,
yes,
think it's
yes.
8.
It's
Mike.
eight.
I know they expanded
That's
it.
perfect. That's perfect to me because now you give those smaller schools a fighting chance. That's all we ask of. Even if they get
I,
blown out, it helps
I still
revenue
don't
for
get
the.
it though.
Why not?
Because like, how does a team like TSU end up in the
TCU, TCU,
championship game
TCU.
or TCU? Yeah,
TSU,
when it's
dude.
like Alabama. There was probably like 5, 6 other college football teams that were way better than them, but I guess their schedule just
they
like
they
Alabama's going to war against Georgia and a bunch of these SEC schools, and they don't make it. And
true, but
TCU,
people like this
I
get
don't get it.
people like this. TCU played everyone that was on their schedule and won. It wasn't like they didn't like beat them to a pulp, but they won close games. And then the last game that they
Mm,
lost on a field goal. At that point, I'm gonna give them the nod. But that's what I'm saying. If you make it to 8, someone like TCU, you just slide them to 7th or 8th,
that's
and then if
true.
they
Yeah,
win, they can win. Now let's talk about Texas though, because now they get Archie Manning.
Archie, I'm
Not
actually
Archie.
excited for that. Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
gonna be
but
interesting.
that
Arch
ooh,
Manning. Yeah, that is
that's
going to
gonna
be
be
interesting.
crazy.
I'm looking
Texas
forward to that.
Texas is back, man. They're really
That's what they're
back.
saying.
Yes,
Hook 'em.
sir. Yes, sir. Can't wait.
Yeah, I guess it's funny because I guess I'm more not. I'm the furthest thing from locked in with either college sport, but I guess it's easier to follow college football for
It's
me.
shifted to college football.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
used to
it has.
definitely be more locked into college basketball, but now I'm definitely like I
The
just like I
Heisman,
love
like
the passion that comes with college football. I just respect it.
Yeah,
So part of that I just kind of like I'll listen. I'll listen in. I won't watch too much. I'll pay a little attention if it's on at the gym or something or a sports
yeah.
bar or wherever, but
for
yeah.
sure, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
That's
fact.
cool that you watch on that you're a Saturday guy, Numdy. We
Yeah, man,
got Jay,
bro.
we got our own Bruce Feldman here. Our own Todd McShay.
I'm a
Facts.
sports fanatic, man. Any sport you can name, I'm probably watching it.
Yeah, you've
I'm
been watching the
probably
Bruins?
yes, man. Yes, they lost. They lost.
Ah.
Lost to the Blackhawks the other day. It was 2 straight losses, right? Two straight
Yeah, but
losses.
now they've won 3 in a row again, I think. They won 7-0 today. They won the other night versus
Jesus.
the Jets.
But I
So
think they're off. I think they're off pace to not get the. Remember, because they were trying before they lost
right.
those 2 straight games, they were going to have the highest
That's a good question.
points, but they're
That's
not
a
going to
good
do
point.
that anymore. But I don't like because in hockey, when you have the #1 record, most likely you're not going to win. It's weird, man.
Mm,
It's really weird. So
Really?
you'll get that President's Trophy. That's what it's called. But
yeah.
I don't think they'll get the Stanley Cup though. But again, this is a Boston team. I'm rooting for them,
What's up?
hands down.
What's up? What is the President's Trophy?
They give it to
President's
the team that won the most regular season games
no, not the
What the
not
fuck?
no. I think it's
or
the
most
points.
points.
Yeah, it's most
That's
points. Most
that's
points.
But
lame. I'm
it's
sorry. That's
hand in
that's
hand.
lame.
I don't think there's anybody who's won. If you have the most wins, you have the most points more often than not.
No, but remember, because oh yeah, do they have ties in the overtime loss? Yeah, it's weird on hockey, man.
Well, the
I'm
overtime
still
loss is 1 point. You get a point for losing in overtime
Oh
or
wow.
even winning in overtime. I think a regulation win is 2 points.
yeah, I'm starting to learn hockey a little bit more. I'm trying to go more to
Same.
more Bruins game because they really get after it there. Hockey's an interesting sport to me.
Yeah, it'd be lit.
Yeah,
All
definitely,
right.
definitely.
We can bounce back to the sport we're almost locked into, and that's the NBA. And we're gonna wrap it up with this
Ooh,
segment
is
that
it
we thought
time?
of over the week. A lot of players have been up to no good lately. A lot of antics going on. It led
A lot,
us
a lot of bad boys.
a lot of bad boys
Bad.
out there in the league right
It's,
now. We decided all of us made our own all all in your all NBA teams. This is the all hate team. So this is
Yeah.
the players we hate the most. We hate the most. Mine's kind of like general who's the most hated across the league.
same, mine
I
too,
did a
mine
little
too. That's how
mix.
I
I
did
did a
it.
little
That's
mix.
how.
I put my own little pieces in there, but do we want to go one by one or do we want to do them all at once?
Let's
Hmm.
just do one by one because that'll
Okay.
give us
Yeah,
time to just opinionate and whatnot.
I
Okay.
think that's a good idea. Yeah.
I
Would you
can
like
go
to go
first
first,
then.
Rumdy?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. I'm gonna go with the hot one. Kevin
Which
Durant.
one?
Kevin
Oh,
Durant.
what the fuck?
Okay,
Oh.
just hear me
Numby out
out.
of left
Hear
field.
me
I did
out.
not expect
Hear
that,
me
man.
out. Hear me out.
I
This is the
I don't,
most
but okay.
this listen, just listen. It's the most NBA hated roster, but for me it's not who I hate, it's the media who they hate. So
Okay,
in
okay, I
that
see.
so in that aspect, I want to say a lot of former NBA players don't really respect Kevin Durant because of that decision still. And I don't feel like that's fair because if we're in work and we don't like a situation like I was saying earlier about my situation, I'm gonna leave a toxic situation and go for something that's better for me. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So in that aspect, it's like, can we really fault Durant for going to the Warriors? Granted, we thought, quote unquote, it's the weakest move in basketball history. But I'm here to say the Golden State Warriors wouldn't have had a dynasty if not for Kevin Durant. He carried them. He was the bus driver, as Charles Barkley would say. So in that
Yeah.
aspect, we got to really understand like Kevin Durant is really hated. And then you see on Twitter, everyone's hating on him. He's too soft, he's too emotional, he's whatnot. No, he's not. He tells you how he feels. So
I
in
like
that
how you
aspect,
spun this. I was concerned at
yes.
first, but
No,
okay.
no, no. I know.
Now I'm feeling better.
Yeah. I Kevin and let's to talk to conclude this. Kevin Durant is the most talented basketball player who's ever touched the basketball. I'm sorry, Jordan
I gotta
I've
was
said
stop
this
you. I gotta stop.
before.
We do this too
I've
much. We
said
do this too
it.
much on this pod. We do
I
this
don't know.
too
I've
much on
said
this pod. We jerk
Jordan and
KD off.
KD.
We
But
jerk
Gabe, go
KD
ahead.
off.
Rain on the
no, no,
parade.
I
no.
was
I didn't say
excited. You had him on your
No.
all hate team, and then you completely turned this
no,
That was
into
listen,
good.
no, no.
a
It was
KD
not.
jerk
I
fest. I'm
don't hate
tired
I
of
him.
love it.
I don't hate him. It's the media that hates him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I put him on the most hated. The
but
media hates him.
I disagree. First of all, he wasn't the bus. It's Steph Curry's bus. Steph Curry drives the
Oh my
bus. They
goodness.
won before KD. They won after him.
Oh my goodness. But
KD
Gabe,
is not on my all hate team, by the way.
but,
Just to
but you didn't hear my point. I think he had
I
stepped
heard.
out for a second.
No, I'm hearing. I heard
But
everything.
Well, KD was
KD
the best player when he was on the Warriors.
without
That's
KD,
that's a fact.
He
without KD, they
was.
wouldn't have won those championships. It's just a fact though.
It's
Well, LeBron would
debatable.
have
I think
these.
no bullshit. I think that's fair because the
It's
first year they
fair to
beat
say, but
Cleveland,
it's not like a certain
LeBron was
point.
dolo. It's not like a definitive like why, but it's definitely one of the reasons because like that first year LeBron was just by himself, and then the Warriors like were, they were like hot, fresh, young team. They got it done. And then that second year, just up 3-1, you could just see how LeBron and Kyrie had them spooked. Like it was just they were just spooked.
Yeah, but that
And then
got weird.
Katie pulls
That
up.
series is obviously weird
It is,
with the
but man,
Draymond suspension. Steph was slightly injured. I won't use that as a legitimate excuse or anything. By the way, I'm not a Warriors fan,
I think
but
Cleveland just. I think Cleveland big broed them in that series, though, and I think that's what led to the KD move. They're like, "Oh, okay,
trust me.
we're
okay,
When
not
Steph,
beating
but
like a healthy
Cleveland won by
LeBron
3
team."
points. Right? It was like it was a 7-game series, as close as it gets. And
3-1 though.
you're taking sure, we take KD out, but then we add in wherever KD's contract fills up, that's more good role players. So it's not like
Harrison
you're taking
Barnes.
those teams, taking KD off, and then it's just that team. If we're taking KD off, we're putting in more pieces. We're not putting in another superstar or anything, but we're putting in more pieces. And like I said, after KD leaves, obviously there's the injuries. There's Klay Thompson missing 2 years, Steph breaking his hand, crazy, just years from hell. But then they're right
Yeah,
back in the finals.
it was due.
And my thing with KD, my thing with just to take this off the Warriors real quick, my thing with KD and Harden and Kyrie and Josiah, fuck Josiah, blah blah blah. If none of those guys win a championship wherever they are for the rest of their careers, everybody owes Josiah apology.
Mm,
Because are you a winning player or not? You're asking. All they did was ask. KD, they got everything they wanted, and then they dipped anyways.
yeah, we shall see. It's a definitely that story's far from finished, so we'll see. But
It is far from finished. I'm
yeah,
just saying it's the Warriors won before and after KD. It's not fair to say, oh, fucking KD is responsible for the dynasty.
well, it depends on how you word it because they became a dynasty once they won the 2 rings with him.
Yes, he was a
So
major part of it.
the dynasty, you could kind of say he is responsible for that, like a major part of it. That's a better way to put it. But like for what the Warriors are like being perennial contenders like year in year out, they, like you said, they were doing that before and after him. But
Yeah,
like he took them to another level that was just
they are
no one was
key.
beating them.
Without KD, they are not the greatest. We're not
Yeah,
called
they're unbeatable.
2017 is not the greatest NBA team ever put together. Without
Yeah.
KD, that is true. But I don't know. We don't know if they would have won another title without him or not. I mean, they did
Mm.
later on, but when it comes to that Cleveland rivalry, like we don't know. I assume they would because everything that
Gabe,
went wrong in that
this is
3-1
let
blown lead
let's
went
let's take
wrong.
it easy. Let's take it easy. You know why? People were starting to catch up with the Warriors and what they were doing. They needed Kevin Durant to basically boost themselves back up into the upper echelon of the NBA. When they made the KD move, they could not be beat. Whether they woke up and had diarrhea that night, they were still going to win versus any other team. But with just Steph Curry, at the time, he wasn't good when you put some big bodies on him. He couldn't get by you. He couldn't do the step. If you dialed up on him in the play, because you know in the playoffs all about matches, they key in on all those players who make big things happen. And Steph Curry wasn't able to do it. The same thing how Jason Tatum isn't performing well in the finals. Steph Curry wasn't doing that in the finals too. Remember, right?
He should have won Finals
I think
MVP in
this
2015.
the Celtics
He,
finals really like stamped it for him for Steph, in my opinion.
yes, but
Because before that,
historic,
there's things you could point at. Like
yes,
he should have won
yes.
in 2015, but he didn't snatch it like a great player
He did
should have
not. He was just
in
playing.
2015. And 2016, he just choked straight up. And
Sir.
then you have the KD years. But then the Celtics series, that's when, and it was really cool to see. And I was happy for Steph because that's sort of when he was like, you could just see him get like those demons off of his back. Like
Yes,
And it
sir. Yes,
wasn't the
sir.
finals,
I'm
but
that guy in the finals. Like I'm
he cooked
here.
Harden and Paul by himself in Houston.
Yeah, that game
31
6 or
point second
game.
half.
Yeah.
Like this dude, Steph is him. Steph is him. KD had the better performances on Golden State. He was the better player on that team during that time period. Yes. It was Steph's team. Steph, outside of, yes, he choked in 2016. Outside of that, it's as good of a playoff record as you see
This
for
is
the
no
most part.
slander. No slander to
Next
Steph.
to Jordan or
No,
whoever.
No slanders and stuff. He's my guy. As you can see, it's my
Oh
guy.
wow.
There's no slander. I
Oh
really,
wow.
that's my guy. I just have to, be
That's the OG
biased. Non-biased. This is
home
Adidas, man. This is
jerseys.
really my guy, but I gotta be
Mm.
non-biased. That's all I'm trying to say,
Why
man.
you have a Warriors jersey though? Is my
Oh, because
question.
Okay.
I was a OG Warriors fan before a lot of people. Before this dynasty thing happened, I was there 2011 when he was just coming onto the scene. That was
Fair.
Monte years.
yes,
Monte
sir.
Ellis.
So I know what the Warriors went to. It's hard for me to talk about them in that aspect, but like I said, it's very objective how I'm speaking right now. So just saying,
All right, so we got Katie. So Katie's, I guess, first on your list. Gabe, who do you
yes.
have? Who's your first guy?
I'm sorry. Let me pull it up. I had it by position.
Okay.
I
Mark
started it
Washington.
like that, but then I was like, most of these guys are just it didn't
Yeah,
make sense
it
once I
didn't
got
make
into it.
sense.
I guess I'll go, Gabe, while you get yours. My
Yeah,
first
go
guy
ahead.
was Dylan Brooks.
Okay,
The
same.
way I did it, no bullshit. The way I did it, like some of these guys are just gonna be universally hated by everyone.
Yes,
But it
yes,
really
yes.
was. I was really trying to cater it to myself. Like when I'm watching these games, who pisses me off? And he's just such a stain. Oh my god! Like, did you see this shit the other day, Gabe? I sent you this. I don't know if you seen when against they were
He
playing
puts the
the
cameraman.
cameraman. The
Can you
cameraman like went to the
imagine?
hospital, bro. He was like
Like, come on,
actually
man.
injured.
Come on,
Like it's
man.
not even just like the on the court shit with him. It's the antics
It
off the
was
court too. And
scumbag
then he's not
behavior.
even that good of a player to be
Spit on that
where it's
boy.
like, yeah. So he was my first
He
pick.
was on my he was on my team too, and
He was
he
on my team
Yeah.
too.
yeah
Okay.
he was definitely one of the people who inspired this whole segment right now. And
Yeah.
yeah, when you're pushing random dudes just trying to do their job, you're just shoving them to the side as you get up, punch a dudes in the nuts, and it's not even
You just suck.
up for debate if he meant it or not. Like you can watch the replays of a lot of this stuff. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's running around like he thinks he's Draymond. The difference
Yeah.
is Draymond's an all-time defender.
There we go.
Dylan Brooks
Yeah.
isn't going to
Draymond,
reach the
yeah.
heights like we just talked
Yeah.
about 2016. Draymond balled out that game 7. Nobody remembers it.
Draymond was
Dylan
killing that finals.
Dylan Brooks will never reach those heights. So I think a lot of guys they focus on the antics too much when they're looking up to guys from NBA past who have been good
Yeah.
defenders but also pull the antics too.
It's like, oh, I
Um,
can't defend to that level, but I can do all the other shit. So I'm
yeah,
just
I'll
gonna
get in your head like this. Like it's just
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no room for that in the game. I'm sorry, there just isn't. I've never been a fan of it. Trey
Remember,
Trey Young was my guard
That's a good one.
for
uh,
the. I don't like. I respect certain parts of Trey Young for sure. I don't think he's a bad player at all. I think he's an all star. But
Hmm.
the debating, if you do any type of foul baiting, I'm out on you. There's no room for that
Yeah.
in the game at all.
hmm. Trey Young,
And
yeah, yep,
yeah,
I can agree. I can agree. I can agree.
and the fans where it's like he's one of those like the Luca, like the inferiority complex to Luca, how they could have had Luca and they traded, and it's like,
They're always
oh,
linked.
well,
They're
Trey
always
went
going
to
to
the
be linked.
conference finals too.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
not the same.
gross.
Yeah.
And might be a coach killer.
Second coach now that
Yeah.
or third, it's the
I think
third
it's the
coach, I
third. I
think.
think they're
No,
on
shit, is it?
coach number
Because they
3.
had
No, this is second. This
because
is second because they both had a black coaches. The first one, I forget
I
his
think
name. No, this
Trey
is
had
second.
two
This is
last
second.
season. Or he had one that's I forgot the guy who coached for them
Okay,
last
no,
year
sorry,
to
sorry.
start the season.
He's got two fired, but this is
And then
they're
Nate
on their third.
McMillan.
They're on their third.
Yeah.
The coach right now is their third. If they hire, did they hire Snyder? Quinn
Yeah,
Snyder?
he's with them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he's with
okay, so
them.
that's their third coach, but he's fired. He's got two fired. Yes, that's definitely true.
Trey Young is a
Facts.
good one, Gabe. I thought of him when
He was
I
my
didn't like
guard. He was my
yeah.
guard. My point guard.
Okay,
Namdi, number
okay,
2.
okay. Let's get another one. I'm gonna say Kyrie Irving. Kyrie
Mm,
Irving.
He was on my
So
bench.
that dicey
so
boy.
so Kyrie Irving, man. If it's crazy. I have his Cleveland Cavs jersey in my closet too. This one hurt.
Numby just
This
has
one,
every
Every
jersey.
right.
no, this one hurts too. But I've just got so fed up with this guy, man. It's just fuming, hatred of me. But I'll just say
Yeah.
it based on the media. If you go and put his timeline on it, he was in Cleveland. He was a young boy. They didn't want to play with LeBron anymore. He wanted to, get his own wings. That's
Which no one
fine.
blamed him for that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's fine.
But after that,
But we now labeled LeBron as a villain in a sense. We did. We did. A lot of sports media, they labeled LeBron, he's not doing his job. Kyrie deserves better. But
well,
After LeBron
yeah.
left him though, right? Kyrie literally has never won. Straight up. He's never won. That's number one. Number two goes to Boston. This one hits home, man. This one really hits home. Remember the quote,
Literally.
I'll resign if y'all have me here. What did he
Yeah.
say after that, bro? He said, ask me July, whatever. Guy just dipped, bro. When he left our team, we literally did better. Good riddance, bro. That's all good. Kyrie,
His
here,
word
let
is
me.
not his bond.
Yeah. I'm
Third
sure Nets
team, man.
fans feel the same way. You know,
Yeah.
Third team. Now this is when his antics got even higher. He goes to the Nets. Do you know the Nets didn't want to sign Kyrie Irving, but Kevin Durant said you must sign him to get me. So they literally put a chokehold on them. So fine, they signed Kyrie Irving. Kevin Durant isn't playing the first year because he's nursing the Achilles injury. Do you know after that, Kyrie Irving only played 27 games that year?
yeah,
He
that
he
forgotten about. He was like he
bro,
had some moments that first season where he just left the team. Just
bro,
no one knew where he
bro.
was.
He literally said shutting this down because of a shoulder injury. I'm not saying the injury isn't validated, but I feel like you could have played. Then right now, the bubble happens. Remember, he was like, "Oh, I'm not trying to play, bro." Oh, blah blah blah. But then he goes and is caught on. Can't. This is the thing with sports, but you can do whatever you want. But if you're caught on camera, you're liable at that point. You're there turning up with your family, no mask, no nothing. But you're the one saying we have
Oh
to do it.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. And he went behind Chris Paul's back because Kyrie was the vice president. Chris Paul's the
right.
president, always going behind Chris Paul's
Kyrie
back
was
and
like
saying,
trying to get the NBA shut down, right?
yes,
When we
that's
was in
what
the
I'm
bubble,
saying. That's
like
what
we're
I'm
gonna
saying.
start our own league.
That's what I'm saying. And do you guys remember Kyrie literally just said he left? He didn't say anything for like 2 weeks. The Nets were wondering where this man went. And now he says,
Yeah,
I just needed a break. Jay and Gabe, if you were to do that, we would be out of jobs right now. Straight up. If no
yeah.
explanation for why
Not a
we
lot of
left,
professions you can do that.
come on, bro. You go to,
Yeah,
bro, the NBA is a very privileged profession. You get paid a lot. And the thing is, that's the only job where if you don't play, you still get paid. Are you shitting me? Come
yeah.
on, man. And on top of that, bro, see, the one thing I don't want to put on his name is the vaccine thing. Because a lot of people are like that, and that's fine. You didn't have to do the vaccine thing. The New York government messed you up on that. I will give you that.
I
What was
agree
the
with
other
that.
this guy and then the antics about getting traded, are you gonna play all this? It's like, bro, now everyone's back. And it's like he was mad because he didn't want to get extension. Why would they give you an extension? You were barely here for a 10-game stretch. Why would
Yeah.
I ever? Yeah, at that point, you're a year-to-year player. Meaning, not saying for retirement, but we can't trust you. Maybe we'll
Hmm.
put conditions. We can't just. I'm. He's so lucky that he got traded to a good organization in the Dallas Mavericks. So lucky because they treat their players well. So he better be kept. But I'm not sure if he's
He's
gonna
also
resign.
lucky that they were really desperate too.
Yes, bro. So we shall see. But Kyrie Irving is definitely on my list, as Mo said. I used to like him, but it's no more, man. He's really took my heart out of my
The
body,
off the
man.
court shit, you're fed up. Yeah, that's
Oh
fair.
my
Yeah.
goodness, man. Tired of this guy. Tired of him.
Yeah.
What y'all
Whether
I
think?
you
guess it's
agree with what he has to say off the court or not, at the end of the day, we all have a job to do, and he still collects his paychecks, and he still wanted a
Yeah.
lot of money. And if he was really this nomad, he would have just dipped from the NBA and like went to save people in China or something. But
yeah,
he's kind of full of shit, man. And you can't talk to him. But we've done a
Cannot.
million Kyrie Irving discussions on this pod.
Don't
Everybody
get me
knows how
started.
we all feel about him.
Don't get me
So,
started, man.
but
Don't get
yeah,
me
he was
started.
on my bench, Numdy, just because it's like obvious, right? It's so obvious that
yeah.
he would be on my team. I had him on the bench. Jay, who's
Right.
your number two?
My number two is Brooke Lopez. Gabe, you know how I feel
Ah,
about
yeah.
this
Jay
guy.
has some weird fucking
And I'm not gonna
personal
lie,
beef with him.
it is weird, bro. No bullshit.
Oh
It is
shit.
weird. I don't know. I don't really
That's
know
pretty
what it
weird, man.
is.
It's some
That's pretty
nightmare about
weird.
Brooke Lopez once or
Yeah,
something.
I must. Yeah, he must have just tormented me in some
Bro,
nightmare.
he's
I was
good vibes, man. He only goes to Disney. Literally, that's all he
he just
does.
I
he just
fuck with that.
annoys me,
When I
bro.
heard that, I liked him even more. I'm not gonna lie. He has a house in Disney
Like
World.
Oh
it's
my
just the way
goodness.
like maybe it's times where he's like just
Is this his face?
affecting the game, and I'm rooting against the team he's on, and he's just doing like a bunch of shit. It's like, ah, man, this is annoying. But I don't know. It's his face, bro. Like, I don't know what it is, bro. But he just annoys me.
Do
Him,
you
and
hate
then
his?
there's a
Do
few
you hate,
other guys. Do I go ahead?
no, I said, do you hate his brother too? His twin brother?
I guess he doesn't play enough for me to really feel a way about him, to be honest.
Well, Jay, you would beef with
But
mascot. You used to not like mascots, right? You were afraid of mascots.
that, in a way, I guess I'm really similar to the Lucas
Oh my
Yeah,
in that
goodness.
aspect.
used to beat up
But yeah,
mascots.
with Brook, bro, I don't know. It's just vibes for me on the court. When I see him, he just looks like an ogre. I don't know. He just, I don't know.
His
Yeah, it's
voice
weird.
sounds
His
like a giant.
the way he looks, bro.
Oh
It's just
my
mad
goodness,
sometimes.
man.
But yeah, that was my weird one. But I had him on my list. I guess Gabe, it's your turn.
Okay, so I did Trey Young and Dylan Brooks is also on my list, who you mentioned. Pat Bev is also on my list. Another guy.
I was thinking about him, but he got respect from his players. That's why I didn't put him. He has
Yeah.
respect from everybody.
He's just one of those.
He's grown on me. But go ahead, Gabe.
I hate those guys who like he has that podcast with Barstool and he'll talk like he's so wise and shit. I've seen it. And it's like, dude, you're just the instigator on the court. I think he's
Yeah.
overrated at everything. I know he
Word.
had like 14 points the other night, like in a row, which good for him. That's cool. But yeah, I just think if he didn't talk so much, we wouldn't talk about Pat Bev at all.
I need to come to his defense right now because
Go ahead.
I don't want to use the word anymore, slander, but it's sounding like slander, man. So let me just tell you this: the same thing what you said with Dylan Brooks. I have a respect for players like this. I know I hate them, but I also have respect because they know their role. Do you know Pat Bev's backstory? If you now know that, you understand why he does these things. Dude literally was playing in Russia, Soviet Union, all those things. I think Turkey as well. He was playing in Washington's jerseys after the games. He had nothing.
He
He
wasn't
had
getting paid, right?
he
Even like I
wasn't
think his
getting
first NBA
paid.
season, he wasn't
Literally, he
even.
was not.
Yeah.
If you grew up like that, at first he's from Chicago, and then he had to do this. This dude came from the scrums. To come here in the NBA is a privilege. That's why he doesn't take games off. He doesn't take plays off. He plays like it's his last play. You got to respect that, man, because that's
That I
how
can
people
totally
should.
respect. I can
That's how
totally
people should.
respect a guy who's like, I have to play. Like
Yes,
you have guys
that
like Kyrie and whoever taking nights
that's what I'm
off.
saying, man.
He
I
definitely
respect that.
grinds.
Yes, bro. We should all teach our future kids to be like Pat Bev, honestly.
Well,
Yeah, some aspects. Some aspects.
well,
Yeah, Pat Bev. I'm not good. There was a time where I really hated him when he was just. I felt as if he was just intentionally trying to take my Thunder's, my
Oh,
Thunder guy's
Westbrook.
knees out. Yeah, that Westbrook shit. Twice I think, and I'm like, this guy just seems like. But with him, like Dylan Brooks, you can almost just see he like. It's like two games. I don't know how to really explain it, but Dylan Brooks has like this other sort of way he moves on the court where he's just doing strictly antics. But Pat Bev, it seems like that's part of his game. Like during like a loose ball, like hook you in the arm, which is kind of
it's a
annoying.
lot more just trash talk with Pat Bev too, where Dylan Brooks is
Yeah,
like
malicious,
punching
like
guys
trying
in
to
the
hurt you.
nuts and
Yeah,
pushing the cameraman's off. That's pushing
yeah.
innocent dude on the sidelines really not cool.
I hear that. I hear that. But people like this, Dylan Brooks, what's the team he plays for? The Memphis Grizzlies. You're a product of your environment. Let's not
Come
get
on.
into John. Let's not get into
Come
John.
on.
I'm not sure if
Who
anyone has
else
John
is
Murray.
doing that though in the
No,
entire
but
league, let
but
alone on the
just
Grizzlies?
no. I hear that, but just hear me out. The Grizzlies have a bunch of young players who don't know their roles. They're all trying to get their own. They just it's very hectic there. I'm not saying John Morant's in my most hated, which he's not, but the shit he's doing, Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bain thinks he can talk. People like Desmond Clark think they're all that. There's a lot going on in Memphis, so I can understand why this is happening, bro. Because you know why? No veterans. That they have no players that are above 30 years old. They need someone to just tell them to shut up. Like someone like Udonis Haslam would put
Mhm.
them in check, but
It
they
feels
don't
like
have that.
Steven Adams is that for them a little bit, but I don't know
But
how much they
was
listen
it
to
Dylan
him.
Brooks who just said some shit about veterans like that? He
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
want veterans.
he said he don't want
He doesn't
Carmelo
want
Anthony.
Oh
veterans because
yeah,
they're
He
just
don't
trying
want
to collect a check.
yes.
They're just trying to stay in the league. So
crazy,
it's
man.
like,
Which
come
is
on, bro.
like you could
Which
kind of
is
hear
right
that
in some
taste.
cases. Which is right in
Yeah,
some cases, but don't
but his intentions weren't,
right.
I don't think at least.
Nah, I feel that. I feel that. I feel that. I feel that.
All
Just
right,
had to
so
say that.
I think it's your turn, Amdi. Who do you have?
I think we're on
uh,
three.
yeah,
Yeah,
one through because I had
I
said
think.
Kevin. I said Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Uh this one is probably. Should I do my underrated or most likely one right now? What do you guys want me to
Give
get
me your
right now?
underrated.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
underrated.
Rudy Gobert.
Oh,
That's a good one. That's a really
oh,
good
he's on
one.
my
I
list
forgot
too.
about him. I
He's on
actually
my list
forgot
Rudy
too.
about him.
He's my
Rudy
center.
Gobert. Do
That's a
you
good
know
one.
this guy? Obviously, it's just his game. He pisses me off. It's like when I look at him, like, why are you on the court? Because he has taken all-star berths from people, all-star appearances. He has got defensive player of the year awards, fine. But you literally can only guard five and least likely fours. You cannot guard at three. They expose you in the postseason. If you're on the perimeter, they have him on skates, bro. Literally, he is a mismatch nightmare in a bad way. I don't like him
Yeah.
at all. They gave up
I felt so vindicated.
four first round
Yeah.
picks for this guy, bro. Timberwolves, bro, you
Tough.
suck. You suck, man. Yeah,
I remember feeling
this
so vindicated when the series they played against the Clippers, where they literally played them off the court. They just went five out, bunch of guards.
bro.
And before that,
He
I was already like, yo, like this guy doesn't move me. But everyone's like, top
no,
three
not at
center.
all.
After that,
He
discourse changed with him.
I don't have a lot of like objective proof on why he's most hated. But when players see him, they're like, I gotta go catch a body on this guy. No bull. Like
Yeah.
something about how he even looks, it just disgusts me.
He's
I'm
just
just
very
That's
tall.
that's how I
oh
feel like with
He's
Brooke. That's my
French.
Brooke Lopez thing. I think
oh
He's
the
tall and
French thing, the
French.
the French thing has something to do with it
I
for sure.
digress, man. That's all I gotta say on it.
And
I
he's
don't want to
That's
annoying.
a
spend
The
too
good
much.
one.
pandemic thing, just not taking into
Yeah,
public health at the
Come
time.
on,
That wasn't
man.
cool either. Obviously, he didn't start COVID, but
yeah,
I've seen him like stuff since then. Just like when Fox News will tweet like shit that just undermines public health or whatever. Like Rudy Gobert, like you check his Twitter likes and he'll like it.
oh
So
wow,
he just feels not he feels no remorse from any of that. And I just think he's a big idiot, and I don't think people like playing with him.
No, not
So
at
he's on
all.
my list too.
For sure.
Let me see. Jay, believe it's your turn.
yeah. This next guy, I'm almost certain we all have him on our list. It's
Uh,
Batman,
yep, yep.
aka
Also one
Grant
of starters.
Williams. Yeah. Oh wow, Numby, that are you
I
not
I
don't
liking
know,
put
that
right?
pick?
I don't put slander on my own
I
teams. I
feel
love
you.
them. I
I
love them,
felt bad
man.
about doing this,
You
but
I
got to
he's
be
can't do
driven
fair
me
that.
though.
crazy. Well,
He's
Jay's not a
yeah,
Celtics fan.
yeah. I'm not
Jay's
like
not a
yeah.
Celtics fan.
I'm just gonna be fair to be honest. Like I fuck with the Celtics. I root for them, but this is not even about being a fan or not. Like, this is just watching Grant Williams play. I don't know how anyone can enjoy that, bro.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, Gabe, he's put in the positions where
Hmm.
he kind of Numby's like melting right now.
It's the
Grant means a
antics.
lot.
Numdy,
Yeah,
it's back to the antics thing.
yeah. He's definition antics. Thinks he's
Keeping
way
Wow,
better
wow,
than what
wow,
how good he actually is.
asking for the
And like
replays.
even
The re-
his teammates, you can see like the coaches and the teammates get annoyed with him sometimes. That's like the final level for me. When your own teammates, let alone the fans, like even if I'm a huge passionate fan or not, when the own coach and teammates are like, bro, like, enough of this shit, man. Just play ball and stop being a weirdo.
Always
That's when
asking
it's
for
like, all right,
challenges.
yeah. So Grant was on my list. So your argument against that number is just because he's a Celtic?
I can elaborate.
Okay, please do.
When we drafted this man, no one thought anything of. You remember he missed his first 33s, I believe. He literally missed his first
Yeah,
30. So
remember
at
that.
that point, bro, you got to remember that we didn't really draft him to be what he is now. So I'm someone who's really big on the phrase appreciate the journey. So that being said, we gotta understand Grant Williams fought his ass off to be where he is. And last playoffs, bro, I'm not saying he won us the series in Milwaukee, but game 7, he went on a light, bro.
He
He
did. He
literally
did.
won the game for us, bro. He was shooting like he was like Larry Bird in his prime. Literally, he was just shooting and making it. Grant Williams can play defense. Granted, this year it's falling back in his face because he's saying I can make both free throws to Donovan Mitchell. You don't even make one. That was
That was
at that
crazy.
point, I was like, I can't trust him no more. There's some games now
Yeah.
he's getting DNPs. It's very scary for him, man.
Last
I
night
take
against Utah, he takes on two guys trying to win the game by himself.
Just give your DHO dribble handoffs and go to the corner at this point. Stop
Yeah.
doing all this dribble hezzy. That's not you. You are not the fifth, sixth, or you might not even be the seventh option, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess one thing I really don't like if I don't like an NBA player, I just don't like the lack of awareness that like
Yes.
some of these dudes will have. Like you know you're not that like I get the coach, it should be on the coach to put him in better position. But you're also like a grown man in the league. Like you know how this shit works. You know what you can do and you can't do. And he's just always just
And
trying to do shit he can't do.
he's a 4 year player from college. You would think he has the president of mind. You would think,
Yeah,
but he don't have that. He don't have that,
not
dog. It's all
not at
good, man.
all.
It's all
So that's
good.
why he's on my list. But I hear the Celtic thing, like, spare
It's
the
all good.
Celtics. But he had to be mentioned.
It's all good. Who's next? Is it Gabe?
Yeah, he's also
Yeah.
on my list. So that rounds out my starting five was Trae Young, Pat Bev, Dylan Brooks, Grant Williams, Rudy Gobert. A guy who hasn't been mentioned yet, who probably won't be mentioned, that just bugs me because he used to have a big rep of being like sort of an underrated big and oh he's a bruiser and
Ooh,
don't fuck with this guy.
I wonder
Uh-oh.
who.
It's
Uh-oh.
Yusuf Nurkic on Portland.
Oh, I
Ah.
thought
And
he came to mind.
he began cooked and also I realized he's always getting into squabbles with people and always bitching and he's a common denominator. Like he's always getting into it with somebody. So I think he might just be a like a punk, and I think he might just be
Yeah.
annoying, and he gets away with it because he's European, so people don't. I
Oh,
think they're less
oh,
scrutinized.
oh, is this Kendrick
Those
Perkins I'm
Euros.
hearing? Is this Kendrick Perkins I'm hearing right now?
I think
Oh,
that's why he gets less scrutiny. I think that's why Jokic is
wow.
going to win the MVP because of
Wow.
the color of their skin. But no,
Kendrick Perkins. Wow.
I think we're talking about like Pat Bev and Dylan Brooks, and it's just like American trash talk we know and shit, and obviously antics. But Nurkic is always getting into shit.
He's like the
But
Euro version.
Euro, like it's a European thing. Like obviously Grayson Allen, who might be on one of your lists, we he
Oh, I didn't think of
like
him.
he's white,
Yeah,
but
I
we
got
all
him. I
know
got him.
he's a scumbag.
I
But
got him.
it's more of a European thing. It's like, oh, those Eastern Europeans are tough and blah blah blah. They don't take shit.
No,
Nah,
I
he's
think
just always getting into it and
yeah, that's
always
the thing.
crying.
A good litmus test is like when you're watching games and it's always that guy that's just in some shit versus like everyone else. Like if you just tune in a random game and it's like, oh, there he goes again. I think that tells you like, okay, it's there's something up with this guy that people just aren't vibing with. So
Yeah.
that's a good one. Namdi, how do you feel?
I agree. I definitely agree. Yusuf Nurkic, he thinks he's better than what he is, and that's not what we
Yes.
like. You think you're
Yes.
the second, bro. If that was the case, Dame would be ringed up. He would have a ring in his finger. But you're not
Right.
like that, bro. You're really not like that.
He
If
just
I'm Dame,
gets cooked.
you're so
He's like
lucky
a
you play.
Gobert. You can't close with
Hmm.
him.
He's so lucky he's with Dame, such a loyal guy, man. He's so lucky because any other franchise he'd be out right now. And remember, he was on the same team with
Yep.
Jokic, and he
Yeah,
was
and
he
they
was
picked
above.
Jokic.
And they
Yeah,
picked
But
Nurkic,
I'm saying,
yeah. They
yeah, but he
yep.
was
they
above.
kept it Nurkic.
He was above the depth chart, Jokic. So it's crazy to think now. Look at what he
Nah, that's
is,
a
and
good
look at what
point.
Jokic is. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
bro.
a good
So
point. I remember they like Denver. They have like this day called Jokic Day. I think it's sometime in November. I remember like
Jokic.
reading up on this once, but it's like the day that they went away from starting Nurkic
Oh
and
my bad.
started
Yeah, yeah.
Jokic instead. Yeah, and it's like ever since then, like it's just been heavens for them. But yeah, that's Joseph Nurkic. That's a good one.
And then
I think
just let me
yeah. Go
finish
ahead.
off this bench because we mentioned Kyrie, we mentioned Harden.
Mhm.
AD is the last guy on my bench just because he cries
Oh,
and he just cry.
yeah,
He's always crying for calls, and
frustrating guy.
he was always flopping, and now he's always getting hurt.
Mm.
Which is tough luck, but he's made of glass
He had a
and annoying. And he
disastrous
gets a
night.
lot. It's not just me, like the again, Numdy, like sort of the media and whatnot. It's
Yeah.
overall like the negative when that player's name comes up, it's a negative conversation.
Nah, I feel that. I
He
feel
had
that.
the other night. He had a disaster against the Mavs. Missed free throws,
This
fouls
dude, man.
Kleba, then lets Kleba hit the game-winning three. And that's like a game they needed to win. So
But Pete,
Laker fans would agree with you, King.
even the game before that though, he did not play. That made me so mad.
But apparently that wasn't his fault though, because he
No,
I
but
don't.
if you're a superstar, you tell them, "Nah, fuck all that. Let's play." You feel me?
Yeah, I'm a little confused. I don't know how much say. That's a good point. I don't know how much say like because like the way it came out was the team said you're not playing in back to backs. But
hear that, bro.
like, can the players just like say no, fuck that, I'm playing, or like
Can't, bro,
they literally
nah,
can't play?
nah.
How does that work?
Bro. He has no injury, bro. It's like, think about this. If the Lakers now are the 11th seed at the end of the season because of that game, how are you going to feel?
They lost to Houston the other night. It's been rough with him.
You feel me? Yeah. So I mean, hey,
Heading the ship.
it's all good. So
80's
let me
agreeing.
see.
Who do you have, Namdi?
So I'll just recap my starting. So I had Kyrie. I also had Dylan Brooks, like you guys said. I had Kevin Durant, Rudy Gobert. For my bench, I have three players, but I have one more for the starters. It's Russell Westbrook.
Mm,
Straight up.
mm.
Russell Westbrook, bro, I feel like everyone was a fan of OKC back then with James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Russell Westbrook. Those were literally the Avengers before the Avengers, in my opinion. We thought
They
of
were
them
so
like
young
superhero.
too.
We
Yeah.
thought we thought they were gonna be there for so long. But guess what? One goes out the door, the other one goes out the door. Now little old Westbrook is there standing. Now he's out the door too. After that MVP season, this guy literally went on, them business charts that go up, 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 and then go down, 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 down. That was what he was. I've never seen so much criticism on a player like this. This dude, if you were to go on Twitter, he had clown music on his highlights off the shooting off the backboard and him just missing it. Like, I think, granted, it was because of the contract too, but Westbrook was not that bad. He was a scapegoat for LA, but he had to go. I hope there's still a spot for him in this league because he's not done playing, but he's just not that number one anymore. Carmelo went through the same thing. Westbrook can definitely help a franchise, but everyone hate. That's why we called him Westbrook. When you go to the LA arenas at the time, you call him Westbrook, he would literally get so mad. This is how I know he felt this when he kept talking about his kids. He was like, I'm a grown man. Imagine me, my kids have to hear this. He keeps talking about his kids, bro. He's not even talking about the game anymore. He's just talking about his kids. He's like, see this? My son drew this for me. It's a nice thing. He's not even talking about game analysis no more. Westbrook, yeah. I'm not saying I hate him, but the media definitely hates him. You saw how the media was talking about him. They were
Well, and
going
the
in
LA
on him.
fans took it to another level.
Yes, sir.
That I didn't read too much into it. I only saw it in passing, but Jaylen Brown talking about how there's some Celtics fans that are very toxic. And I'm like, the whole world just watched Westbrook get completely cyberbullied for the entire season until they traded him.
Yeah. That's a
And
fact.
he was a big part of the problem, and they've been much better without him. But it's he was the same player he's been for a while now.
Yep.
And it was only now just getting criticized because it's LeBron and it's affecting LeBron's chances at winning. So it's happening in LA. So there's going to be more scrutiny there. Just like if it was happening in New York, there'd be scrutiny there because those are major markets. Just in regards to Jaylen Brown's, of course, as toxic Celtics fans, we're a major market. You're going to find those fans in any major market, just like this LA situation with Westbrook. So I'm definitely with you on that. It was a little unjust, a lot of the stuff said. But yeah, I'm happy you bring up Melo. It's the same thing. It's like if he can realize he's our number one guy, which I don't think we'll ever, I'm not sure if he'll ever realize that. Not even a number two guy. If he could just move off ball and set screens and whatnot, which has never been his game, then there would definitely be a place in this league for him. But until then, probably not. So it's good that you brought him up.
Yeah.
It just comes back to awareness for most of these guys.
Let me give you guys my bench. I had three guys, just three guys. Number one, Ben Simmons. Definitely Ben
Oh
Simmons, man.
wow! See, I don't even
He
consider him an NBA player anymore. That's how bad it's gotten. But he should probably be the first guy on all our list. To be honest, he's everything
Oh,
that's bad about
definitely.
everything.
And then
But continue.
Draymond Green. I think what I have to say, he's not as hated as we think anymore. He's really not. People respect him. The thing is, what escalated everything is that thing he did to Jordan Poole. You should be very ashamed of yourself for doing that to a young man like him. Some guy trying to find his way because now you know what that does. It compromises his leadership on the team because now he feels
Right.
like he can't get into anybody's face because
Yeah.
of what he just did. So now
Yeah.
I think that also contributes why Golden State isn't ferocious on the road because Draymond Green would be in your ass all time on the road. Now he can't do it. He just sits back and like, no, good job, keep going. No, but that's not gonna work. And then my last guy, as Gabe mentioned him, Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen, I feel like since Pee Wee AAU, he's been just like this. It's not coming out of his system any day. He did this in
He's just a
AAU.
sick guy.
The guy, his face, he looks like a murderer. No bull. I'm not gonna lie to you. So AAU, he did this. High school, he did this. We know what he didn't do. And bro,
But
he literally, bro, remember what he did to Caruso? He literally just pulled him down, broke his wrist. That is sinister, man. Grayson Allen, and then when he does it, he just has a straight face after. It's like
he's
it
almost
feels
proud
like,
of it.
bro, he's like he has mental issues, bro, that aren't addressed. I wouldn't want to see him walking at night. I'm very wary of him. I wouldn't want to see someone like that, man. It's yeah, but Grayson Allen, he rounds out my my roster.
It's a
Yeah,
very interesting team right there.
that is my last few guys. I have Nicholas Batum. He kind of falls in the
What?
Brook
That's a great
Lopez.
pick. That's a great
Wow.
pick.
Yeah,
Because of what he
Wow.
fucking said that time about Terrence Mann. But go on.
yeah, that and then like giving up on Charlotte after he got the big contract. And then again, like he's similar to Brook Lopez. I just look at him, and he just kind of makes me cringe.
He's
I
the
don't like
weirdest
the way he
head.
looks. Yeah, he just not really aesthetically pleasing guy to look at. I had Kyle Lowry on my list. That's another guy.
That's a
Just
great
fucking
pick. That's a great pick.
antics, bro. Antics with him. Oh. So yeah, he was on my list. And then this is another one. So this isn't a player, bro. But I literally typed Nick Nurse possessed players.
Mm-hmm.
I think once you're coached by that terrorist, bro, like
Mhm.
you just play basketball so gross. Like
Yeah.
it's every time a team's playing with Toronto, every time they foul you, every time you can hear every player post game, like, yeah, they just get away with everything. Like it seems like they're the
Mhm.
only team that can get away with all these fouls. So
And he's annoying.
and he's annoying too. I think like he is a good coach, but I think
Yeah.
they made the finals with Kawhi, and that probably gassed him up a little bit. Where he's like this fucking guru who just looks at the game differently than every other coach. And now he's just running a terrorist system over there. So yeah, I guess that was my last pick.
That's Lowry's great. Lowry is great. Like I totally forgot about Lowry. He's totally on my list. I'd put him over Trae Young for sure.
Yeah, he's hate that guy.
I think there's one player we're really missing, and I just thought of it. I'm like, how did we miss this guy?
Who?
And his name is DeJounte Murray.
Oh, you know what?
It's because he's been so irrelevant all year.
That's a good pick though, because he was a dickhead during the summer with that whole Paulo situation and in that pickup game, throwing the ball off random dudes' heads, he seems like a bully.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you remember that time against James Harden? James Harden trying to body him. He points his finger like this.
Yeah.
Yo, DeJounte Murray don't take shorts. I don't know if you guys listened to the podcast, All the Smoke. He went on there and said, I stay inside because I fear of what I would do to people. He's tapped. After I heard that, I knew he was tapped.
Yeah, he's tapped.
Literally tapped.
That's tapped.
Ooh. And he didn't like Tony Parker.
That's a good one.
He didn't like Tony Parker in San Antonio because Tony Parker ran away from him and went to Charlotte because he didn't want to teach him. It's like those type of things. DeJounte Murray, he's a good player though, but he definitely should be on the hate list for sure.
Yeah, he was just moving weird for me in the summer with all that shit, those pickup games. So that's a good pick. Is that all our guys?
That's all, man. That's all, folks. Anything else for today?
I think that's it. We covered a lot. This was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I'm glad to always be on this, man. You guys run a good show, yeah.
Thanks.
Appreciate
you, bro. We'll have to have you back on when college football starts. You can do your top 25 ranking.
Yeah.
We'll have you back off in the NFL draft. How about that?
Top 10 recruits. Who should we be looking for
draft.
in high school?
Now you can even have me for the NBA draft. That one I'll probably have that ready to go, man. But the top 3 is probably set. We don't have to really, that one's probably set.
Well, we don't know who 2 will be now. Now I'm hearing Brandon Miller might be 2.
I think teams are still wary. I think teams are still wary of the situation.
Oh yeah, the extracurriculars.
But in another aspect, they're like this young boy. He's very composed. If that was me, I'd be trembling every time I go to the game now because I'm like, but now he's playing better after they found out this. It's crazy, bro. So I'm like,
that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I would. But that guy, Scoot Henderson, he literally looks like a grown man.
I don't know. What has Scoot done to hurt his case?
Nothing. It's Brandon Miller's elevated his case.
You know a lot is his height. He's literally his height. I think he's
And
like
it's
6'5".
I was hearing that Scoot's like 6'1" or something.
yeah, and he's a point guard, and there's more point guards in the league than like Brandon Miller's ceiling is
Yeah.
higher.
He's a wing. That's
He's a
coveted.
wing,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Wembanyama, he's like an unknown project, but based on what we've seen,
He's
he's
on another planet.
oh
Yeah,
my
he was created
goodness,
in the
man.
lab.
Yeah, he's
But
like
I'm
one is one.
him though because remember Chet Holmgren just got his foot injured. That was the closest thing. So it's
Fair.
like I'm kind of very but Wembanyama. It depends the team. I'm thinking if you go to Houston or Detroit, they'll develop you right. Don't go to San Antonio. I'm hoping he don't go there, man. I'm
Really,
hope
if anything, I would think they would develop him it
no
probably be
because
like the most boring destination, but they would develop him the most, I would think.
I feel like when you put guys around young play, I understand because Pop. I don't think Pop got a lot of years left. I feel like Houston got a good thing going. They're not a toxic franchise. Things can like I feel like that'll help them. Detroit, I would go. I would lean towards there. Dwayne Casey, he's gonna lose his job in like a year or two, but he's like the GOAT of developing players. I'm so happy James Wiseman went there because now he's actually gonna learn how to play basketball.
He's been hooping out there
Serious,
too.
yeah, bro.
Last
Kate Cutter,
last thing, yeah. Go
yep.
ahead, Namdi. Go ahead. What were
Nah,
you
I'm
gonna say?
the Detroit Pistons might be in the play-in next year. Mark my words, they
I
might.
They
believe
got
it.
some
I
guys.
watched them live this year actually in New Orleans, and
They,
they
They're
they have a
frisky.
nice roster. They have a bunch of nice young players.
Yeah. I guess last thing I just remembered, Michael Jordan sold the team. It was
no,
about
not yet,
time.
not yet, not yet, not
Or,
yet. He's
or
in
he's
the
going
works.
to sell the
It's in the
team.
works.
He's gonna, yeah. It's
He's
good that
But
he
not
like
brought
good.
that
it's
up.
gonna happen. Yeah, I
He's
think
not
it was
good.
just about time.
Long
Because that was
overdue.
another possible destination for Wemby, but they're
No,
just a
no,
mess. The
no.
guys are getting
Don't
in
go
trouble
there.
every other.
If he
Yeah,
goes there, bro, he's going to get tainted. It's a mess in
Hmm.
Charlotte, bro. Lamelo Ball can't stay healthy. Um,
it's a
PJ
mess. Yeah,
Washington has baby mama issues. Terry
Miles
Rozier might
Bridges
Miles
thinks
Bridges. He's
literally
a
out in the
rapper,
streets moving
bro.
crazy. Yeah,
Bro, he's literally living a lifestyle to get back into the hood. You know how people try to get out of there? He's
yeah,
getting back
yeah,
in the hood. Terry
yeah,
Rozier
yeah.
thinks he's in a gang. It's a mess there, man.
Yeah, there's some bandits over there in Charlotte.
Oh my goodness, man. I feel for them. I feel for them. Charlotte really don't have
Maybe
anything else to root
maybe
for.
that's what Wemby needs. Maybe he needs some bandit
They
in
root for
there.
their college basketball there.
Yeah.
Charlotte.
They
Oh
got
yeah, Charlotte. Yeah, North Carolina. Yeah, my
they got
fault,
none of
Charlotte.
that. They got none of that now to root for because both those teams are out. Um, yeah, long overdue, Jordan. Long overdue. Jay, we were when I think I texted you that, or you texted me it. That night it broke that he was going to sell the team. It's like no team has been this bad for this long, and it's
Yeah.
harder. I think it's
Yeah,
impressively
that was
bad.
funny.
It's
Yeah.
it's difficult to be this bad for this long in time. Everybody in the past 20 years have had some sort of success.
That's a fact.
The Kings didn't really, but now they are.
Watch out for the
we're living
Kings,
it now.
man.
Charlotte's
for
still
them.
a wasteland, so thank God he's selling it.
Yeah, bro. The
And like you
Bobcats,
said,
the
long overdue.
Hornets. Ah, sick world, man. Sick franchise.
I've seen my fair
Yeah.
share of Bobcats games.
Yeah.
But
Sure, the tick.
all right. That'll wrap it up. Numdi, thanks for coming on again. Appreciate it. This was
Appreciate it.
much like Jordan selling the Hornets. You coming on the pod was also very long overdue. Anytime you want to come on, just feel free to hit us up,
Yeah.
and you have an open spot here.
Shit, man.
Absolutely.
Don't make me cry, man.
In terms of promotion, Connection Media presents. Jay dropped a hoop chat last week. We dropped the rap pod finally. Top Billboard did the top 50 rappers of all time, and me, Sebastian, and Joe Vaughn pontificated about that. There'll be a wrestling pod out later
Oh.
this week. This is dropping Monday morning. There'll be a wrestling podcast dropping later this week, and maybe a little One Piece pod. Me and Tyler in the works. It's been a while since we did one of those, so
Oh,
might do a
really?
little of that.
There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. So a lot going on. A lot going on.
Okay. Versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all on Connection Media Presents. So if you haven't yet, go subscribe to that feed. Connection Media Presents. Otherwise, this has been the Richi Meko Connection, episode 82. Numdi, again, thank you very much, and thanks everybody for listening. Take care.